Hello, chat. Oh, I think that was a great audio cue to start on or end on, I guess. How's it going, everyone? We are here. We are doing our thing. We're great. We're doing awesome. We have a great guest today. You can tell by the thumbnail. You can tell by what's going on. I want to know how you're doing, chat. It seems like there's a little bit of excitement going on. In case you're wondering, it's really cold right now. So I should be wearing a sweater or a jacket or something, and yet I am not. All right, just communicating with our guest here. We have a great guest today. You may know our guest as a longtime veteran of the Smash scene. You might know our guest as a commentator for not just Smash Brothers, but also traditional fighters. You may know our guest from their podcast, Shounen Chumps. We got Sai. We got Sai in today. And I think we have a pretty good long list of stories we can get to, considering they've been here in the scene for a very long time. So they've seen generational changes back and forth. They saw Brawl shoot at back in the day, which must have been amazing to see live. But, you know, there's probably a lot out there, and I just kind of want to explore it. So I'm glad we were able to get our guest on. So let's see if they're 100% ready. I really like the fact that we're able to get them on, because it's nice and interesting having people on, especially if they've been like a long-term veteran of the scene, and they can give a pretty decent insight of like how it is, you know. So let's see if they are fully 100% ready. We're going to start this video call right now. They are typing. Just sent that RT right there. All right. Let's see if our guest can connect. Oh, is that our guest? Is that Sai? Can I be heard? Am I messing up? Do I have bad audio? I usually have bad audio. Let's find out, chat. I don't usually have a bad time, but sometimes I do. Let me make sure I got my whole audio set up as the way it's supposed to. Output, mic in, output, show more, Discord. I need to change that to mic in effects. So that should be good on my end now. Check. Can you hear Sai? Can I hear? Can I be heard?
Testing. Do I sound okay?
I hear you. We're using the right mic inputs. We're using the right mic inputs. We're good. If you're super loud, that's actually a good thing.
Okay, cool.
That's cool. All right, let's switch over scenes. That's the wrong scene. All right,
and there's no like echo or anything, is there? Oh, should I be using headphones to hear you? Actually,
I mean, you could. You could.
Let me grab some real quick.
All right.
That might make it a little easier. Just pop this in real quick. And then make sure it doesn't like jack up my settings or anything.
No, good. Let me just pop this. Do a little pop out. Make sure we get the appropriate screen. Otherwise, I'm leaking.
Yep, that's correct.
Don't want to leak too much. That's bad.
And here. Go here. And then you're currently live streaming this on YouTube or Twitch or both?
Just on YouTube. Just on YouTube. My internet is not good enough to multi-stream.
Heard. Just pull it up real quick. Okay.
Hey, we're finally set up. At least I think so.
We're good. I think we're set up.
All right. How's it going? How's it going?
Honestly, pretty good. This is I might say, I think caster wise, this might be the busiest year I've ever had. It's been a good year. I've been everywhere this year. I hope I'm just chilling for the rest of the year. I don't know, but I've been all around.
Oh man, that's the one thing that like I know like casters have like as a like when they're on a really good run, it's like amazing while they're in the middle of it. But like once they have that downtime, all of that tiredness really hits, especially after going event after event after event after event.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing where you just have to kind of keep the momentum going, because as soon as it's done, it's like not only are you exhausted, but then I do this, and probably a lot of other casters do this, where it's like when I'm not working an event, it's like, damn, am I only as cool as the last thing that I did? And like, the last thing you did will be like 8 days ago. You're like, man, I feel like a bum. Like, no, I need to rest. I need to actually relax and be at home for a little bit.
He's like, oh no, I'm washed. Despite the fact like you commentated like at a super major, like literally like a week before or something. Literally
like back to back. And my brain is just like, like I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But also I was a theater kid, so I think some of that just carries over too. Like
yeah. I was
plays, you do your auditions.
Yeah, I was in theater like for like a semester, and then like I stopped going because I was too busy going to punk shows. But I understand.
A very, very different vibe.
Yeah, so like I know the FOMO. Like that FOMO is crazy.
So crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Like funny thing is, like at least at my what was it? So my 9th grade year, my freshman year, there's a good quarter of like the senior like theater students that ended up going to a lot of the same shows I went to. So it was like, oh, we're going to a show, and then we are listening to bands talking about like the oppressive nature of white supremacy on immigration, and how we're slaves to a 2-tier immigration system. And it's the same guys who are like, okay, yes, and like the day before.
Yes, that really is how it goes. I have so much just stored up yes and energy I need to just expend all the time. Like including like random, like I'll be doing bits and it's like, sir, this literally is a Wendy's. There's no just order your 4 for $4 and just fucking move. You don't need to, oh, can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, we're good.
I let that rip on accident.
Nah, it's good. As long as like I said, no white supremacy is happening, we're fine.
That would be very shocking for me. I'd be like, wow, I'm so many different things that would not benefit from that. No, hey, not over here.
There could be a Candace Owens situation. You know, I don't know that I could be unaware of.
It could be Candace. It could be Kanye. It could be a lot of things. You know, I'm the woker, baby. If anything, I promise.
The woker.
I assure you.
Oh man. All right, we did a quick little preamble and then we're finally go. Fellows, femmes and dams, how's it going? I'm Straight As, this is Drug Free Plays, and once again we have our guest. For everyone who doesn't know, introduce yourself super duper quick.
Okay, I am Sai. I am a Smash and FGC caster. I've been competing in competitive fighting games since I was like 14. I am no longer 14. But I've been through many different scenes. For Smash, especially, I started in Brawl, like competing, and then Smash 4, I was kind of riding the fence doing both sides. I ended up just doing way more casting than competing, also because Smash 4 was a mess. And then for all of Ultimate, I've been casting it, but also I've always played like Marvel 3, I just spent like a good 2 years grinding out Street Fighter 6. I only recently stopped playing SF6. I am currently no lifing 2XKO, so I'm trying to cast that stuff too. So,
saw you got second at a local recently, I think. So congratulations.
Yes, and it was interesting too because it's like I'm very good at tag fighters in general, and that one I made it all the way to grand finals with no games dropped, and then it was like 11 o'clock. I was like, I am so tired. And that grand started. I was just like, I just don't got it right now. Like I lost to the person. I lost to who I had just 3-0'd in winners an hour and a half ago, but I was just like, man, I'm tired, and this game takes long.
Beating your 30s really started hitting real hard, huh?
It hit real hard. It hit so hard. And it's not even the people I'm around aren't like fun, but you know, I yap for like a few hours. I'm like, I got no social battery left. I can't fuck into this. But yeah, so I'm all over the place when it comes to Smash and FGC events, just trying to do both. So I recently got to do DreamHack Atlanta. I did Evo this year, Riptide, Supernova, some collegiate work with CECC, Combo Breaker. So I'm pretty much just trying to be in as many different circles as possible. As someone that just loves regular fighting games and Smash, I don't really differentiate the two. But I feel like there is a separation, even if there doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
But I've always been a huge fan of both, so I'm just casting whatever I get to cast, basically.
Oh man, see, it's what's very interesting is like I think outside of Oates from Major Zine and maybe Jerry, one of the head TOs and leads for Top Shelf, that makes you probably the third most veteran person in the scene that I've had on recently. So
I am honored that there are two people older than me. I'm honored right there. Thank you for your service.
Which is funny because one of them is younger than us. But he's like the second most veteran person around. Second most veteran person around. Actually. Funny story, right? I didn't started following Smash literally until right when Ultimate dropped. When Ultimate dropped is when I started really paying attention to the Smash scene. I have caught the Smash Brothers doc. Then a few months later, Ultimate gets revealed. And I'm like, you know what? Let me start paying more attention. And I started off like watching mostly Melee. Then I think the first thing I saw, the first Ultimate tournament I really like paid attention to was Ultimate Summit 2. I want to say it was Ultimate Summit 2 is where I started. Then I was like, whoa, wow, I really want to like really get into it. I had zero idea of neutral. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be a competitor and I don't have the time for that. I have a full-time job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to locals, hang out and just start recording people and talking to people. And then the first local I was actually going to go to was in like March 30 something. I think it was like the 30th or something of 2020. And we all know how that turned out.
Oh, no, that's the worst. By every possible definition of movies, that is the absolute worst time to start getting invested in Ultimate. That is so unfortunate.
Yeah. So I had like a year and some change of like actively watching it on Twitch and everything. So like that early MK Leo arc, the Leo versus Tweak, and then boom. It was all downhill for about a year or so until in-person events started coming back and whatever. And then I was like, all right, finally, let's see some real Ultimate and Melee like in-person stuff. And through the Smash World Tour, like the first thing I went to was the return of a local that ended up being I think they hosted Icy Mist over in the San Fernando Valley.
Love her now. So
they flew her over. The same group eventually flew over Jackal for a couple of events. And shout out to the folks at Dreamcatcher Gaming. They're some of the first locals I watched from SoCal. So I kind of like missed like MSM, like all of that stuff like that was happening in that time frame. This was actually around the same time from like, Thunder was around too.
Oh, I remember Thunder Gaming. That was an interesting arc, I'll say.
Yeah.
And there was I'll never know the full details of Thunder Gaming or how that all shook out, but there were some quality memes from Thunder Gaming. Like that child they bring up and they just like put a wad of cash in his hand. He's like, "You're holding $10,000." He's like, "Okay." Fortnite. Like he does not have a concept of why that should matter to him.
No.
He's probably not in the bracket. He's not going to win the money.
No, yeah, not even
Thunder
close.
Gaming was no. That was interesting, but I wasn't involved with them in any way, so I don't know anyone's tea on anything. But I remember. But I was going to ask, does that mean you were around for like the 2GG sagas then in like early Ultimate?
So
on the West Coast,
watching, yes. So okay. I have this specific memory of watching. It was Meister and Mia when they teamed up and they were just throwing bacon at Larry Lurr, trying to recover. I was like at like a Hawaiian food place watching this as me and my fiance were waiting for food. Like I think it was like a rainy day and like, this is so funny. And like, I didn't get to finish the rest of the match and we went home. So I have the distinct memory of seeing that like in a Hawaiian food, like a fast food restaurant.
I can guarantee you didn't miss much. I'm sure there was more bacon until he was forced off ledge, didn't die, and then got hit by more bacon. I think
TK was like, "Hey, well, like a few more percent. I think this is considered stalling."
Yeah. It's such a fun, delicate dance when you're casting and you see some absolute BS. Buffoonery. And you're like, I have to try to make light of this because if I say what I really think, I'll be suspended for 6 months. And I guarantee that was one of those times where he's just like, "Oh man, neutral B." Like it sucks. It sucks sometimes. You have to like try to jazz up moments like that. But yeah, that was.
For me, I was like, "Yo, this is comical." Because like it's such a simple option. One on the platform, one literally at the ledge, and it's just boop, being angles. Truly. Just being angles.
It's 1,200 active hitboxes that covers everything you could be at. Like it'll never have the knockback to kill you, but your mental stack is ruined. It is completely
decimated. When I know when I boot up Elite Smash and I'm playing Game & Watch, I'm doing this and people they give up. They don't even want to recover anymore and they just rage quit. Mm-hmm. Instead of unplug, they'll rage quit instead. And I think it's funny every time. Absolute menace.
I get it. Because there's sometimes where you're in a match, you're like, I don't have to live like this. Like I could just be doing anything else.
It was like when I was playing Tekken, like season 1 Tekken. Alley kick was the scrub killer, and I alley kicked because it was definitely strong. Mm-hmm. And people would unplug for no reason. It's like, come on, gang! It's just King. He can't do that much at a low level.
Right? You know what's crazy? I had a moment like this last night at the local. Literally in bracket, I'm running like Echo and Blitz. So my team is literally the best of times and the worst of times. Like it's balanced technically in the most extreme way. It's like top 2 versus bottom 1.
Yeah.
But I'm playing this dude and I pick Echo. He's like, "Oh, it's this character. I hate this character." Blah, blah, blah. "Oh, Echo's so broken." He's playing Yasuo. I'm like, "Bro, that's the other best character in the. What are you on?" We're both playing 2 of the top 3 characters, and like mid match, he's raging on me. "Oh, this game sucks. Echo's so unfair." I'm like, "You're Yasuo. You can hit me from full screen very safely and kill me for it. You have a character with virtually no flaws as well. I'm cheating. We're cheating. We're both cheating." Like, but yeah.
These people. Oh my God. See, that's the funny thing part too. Like me as someone who doesn't like actively compete very much. Like I go 2-2 at my locals, 1-2 at my locals. So it's then again, I'm playing like K Rule and like Game & Watch. So like I play to be silly. I don't play to win. Right. Right. So like I'll go and like hearing like Nexus is in my region, right? So like sometimes you'll hear him like scream and it's like, "Oh, come on, man. You're there, man. Just grab somebody's nose and you'll be fine."
You don't have to live like this.
There was another time where he was going up against someone. I forgot who it was, and the guy goes, "Let's go Nexus," and like, bro, I lost. He lost game 5. I'm like, oh no, you can't let's go Nexus on someone who lost game 5. Poor guy. Shout out to Nexus. May he steal everyone's nose that he wishes.
We definitely had more than our fair share of ragers. I've been the rager, depending. It's a mess. Yeah, it all depends on the game. One thing I think that kind of like separates me a little bit from, I guess, the average smasher when it comes to mentality is that I played Marvel for so long, still do, and there's so much grime in that game, and also a very different community. Like, my local scene is pretty fun. We're all competitive with each other, but we're all friends and it's fine. But then you go to majors, it's like, I'm in the Midwest. I have played Marvel with Korn in the background, the group, not, Coalition of Real Next Letter. I have played fighting games in Michigan. There is almost nothing I think a smasher could ever say to me that would ever like rattle me in that way. And if I'm ever in a point where I'm like raging, it's
something must have been dire.
More often than not. It's more often than not like my thoughts on the game itself, but it's very rarely like trash talk because one, no one's gonna out trash talk me. I'm really good at it. I choose to use my powers for good. I've shut down whole tournaments before. I'm not even kidding. Multiple times. I have shut up multiple crowds of people like talking shit back to them.
Hell yeah.
So I feel like I always see a lot of tweets being like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he clapped when he jumped, and that spoiled the match for me." Or someone said, "Let's go, my friend," and the bullying is out. I'm just like, no. You guys, y'all have never. Like, I would assume like maybe CFL is probably the craziest place you can play Smash, and I have not done that in CFL because
that's what I heard.
I don't want to be in NFL. I don't want to be in Florida in general, but just based on what I've seen, that seemed really toxic and crazy. But other than that, like, yeah, you play enough Marvel, you
grow some skin.
You grow some crazy skin.
You grow some armor, basically, at that point. I kind of want to start at the beginning, man. We have probably about 2 hours or 2.5 hours. And I kind of want to go through like your story and kind of how you ended up where you're at. Like, as far as like the very beginning, where are like, would you say like are your real origins with either Smash or competitive in general? Like, where did that start from? Like, was it starting in Brawl? Was it starting in traditional fighters? Like, where was that? How did that happen? And like, what made you get attracted to the scene?
So it's kind of like a secret third thing.
Oh,
so my very first competitive game, hand to God, first competitive game I took seriously was Naruto Clash of Ninja. Not Ninja Storm, not the Arena Fighter. There was like the aiding/Bandai Namco Naruto series that was on GameCube. And we also had to get it imported and use freeloaders and do all kinds of stuff just to play it on an American console.
Yeah.
But for some reason, first of all, giant weeb, so shocker. But shocker.
Anime podcast. Oh, who knew?
Right. Also host of Shounen Chump, so it's been determined. But I started there, and my cousin, who I was really close to, there would always be like a singles bracket and basically a doubles bracket for this game. And we had gotten pretty good, and we had Cincinnati is extremely good at like several niche games for some reason, and this was one of them. So we were really good at that. We weren't the best, but we were good, and there was like somewhat of a rivalry between us and like Florida for some reason in this game. But we had started competing at the local level there, and I really fell in love with the competition. Also, I'm like a deeply, to the point of it being a character flaw, deeply competitive person. So I wanted to get better and better. So we were playing that for a while. Eventually, the scene for that kind of dies down somewhat. And there's like a smidge of a resurgence. Like, you'll still see Combo Breaker and CEO like running Naruto Clash of Ninja. But that had started to wane. And I had played Smash only casually for a very long time as like a kid. Like we played Melee as a kid and we'd stay up all night, you know, throwing items at each other. Didn't know what was going on. When I started college, I had a friend that had been taught about competitive Smash, and we became friends because like in like one of the lounges, like in between classes for us, they would just have Brawl set up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to play. And then he kind of explained to me like what competitive Smash is, and he basically taught me how to play competitively. I was like, oh shit, okay. And then we kind of created like a big friend circle. At a point, he was my best friend for a little bit there, but time, distance, all those other things. But we had created like a small circle, and we were all kind of learning competitive Brawl at the same time. And a lot of those people, and this is like 2009, and a lot of those people I'm still friends with to this day in 2025. Like lifelong friends have been made because of Brawl and Smash in general. And obviously a lot more friends have been made along the way, but I do have OG friends from like 15, 16 years ago because of this game. So I thank them for that. Even if Brawl was a mess, I still thank them for
Brawl's a mess for very many reasons.
Yes. I had to cast Brawl at Supernova this year, and I had to refresh myself. I was like, man, we sure did play this, didn't we?
We played this game for money.
Yes, I played Diddy, so I was great. You know, I was one of the few characters that was like about evenish with Meta Knight, which was maybe 2 or 3 people on the whole roster. So I had somewhat of a different experience with competitive Brawl, but we started there, and then there's a determining moment that happens to I think every competitive Smasher. There is a day where you're like, oh, I can beat so and so and my Aunt Gretchen. I'm super good at this game. I've never been to a tournament. And then you go to that first tournament having no scope on what competitive Smash actually looks like. I thought I knew what it looked like. So I'm like, oh, I'm really good in my circle. We'll go to this little local and we'll win. There was a group in the Midwest who I'm still homies with to this day, actually, called the God Guys, that were like very good at competitive Smash. And we went to like some rinky dink local where it was like me and my homies and like the 3 of them and like one other person, right? They tore us up so bad in such an elaborate, extensive, and thorough ass whooping, where when that happens, you're either like, oh wow, I've seen the light and I want to get better, or oh, this game sucks, never mind, I quit, I'm gonna go do something else. I went that way. I said, oh, this is insane. I don't even know. I thought I knew what was going on. I don't. I have so much to learn. So I immediately like barreled into it. And most of my friends, we all did too. We were like, oh, damn, that's what this game really looks like at high level? Bet. Let's get to high level.
Let's do this.
So we started grinding there. I was pretty good at Brawl. I was never like super crazy at Brawl, but I grinded it for, how long did I play Brawl for? I played Brawl for at least 4 or 5 years. And somewhere in there, I started playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I said, I'll play a balanced game. So I started Marvel vs. Capcom
balanced
3.
Game.
Right, as well. And I got very good at Marvel 3, and I'm still very good at Marvel 3. But I sort of started transitioning into that, and Brawl had gotten pretty stale. We had some... Can I discuss mods? Am I allowed to discuss mods?
I don't care. Go ahead. Like I said, the only restriction is not being Clandis Owens.
Yes. Okay, great. Then we're in there. All right. So we're playing Brawl. It gets a little stale. I'm also playing Marvel, but then there's mods for Brawl. And there's Project M, obviously, but before that, there was Brawl Plus, which was when people tried to mod the game to make it more balanced. But my favorite was Brawl Minus.
Yeah, this I've heard of. I've heard of Brawl Minus.
To this day, I would play that immediately if you put that in my hand. That game said the balancing, the ideology for balancing this game is we're going to make every character in the cast so unbelievably broken that it'll balance out to even again. And I said, this is my kind of game. This is what I like. Now it feels like I'm playing Marvel 3 all over again. Well,
hell yeah.
Actually, it's more imbalanced than Marvel 3, but it's, I don't know. But basically, we had this insanely broken, super fun version of Brawl where every character was just
diabolical.
Would be S tier in any other series. So it was crazy fun, right? Like they gave Fox back like his Wave Shine, Phantasm, you could cancel at any point into any move. Peach, I discovered like a Peach Infinite where the first hit of down smash always tripped, but you could float cancel all of her moves. So I could do down smash, float, down smash, float, down smash, and it's literally just spinning them in a dryer until I like can kill them.
I can already feel the arthritis on that.
Oh, grimy stuff. Dude. Her side B, you can cancel into anything. So you could be 3/4 of the stage, and I can do side B forward air and like connect it from that far. Like that game was super crazy. So then it restarted where me and my friends were the main ones playing it, and we would run events with each other. But we got more competitive, and also the game was so funny. And you know, we had music mods and stage mods and crazy costumes. We had like Ronald McDonald on Captain Falcon. We had all the like his helmet like was the afro. Like we had all this fun stuff going on there. So we enjoyed it even more. We would play regular Brawl, and then when like the tournament would be winding down, we're like, let's do Brawl minus, and you know. So my love for the game kind of persisted, even if Brawl itself was kind of meh. From there, I kind of do this thing in my life where I'll have like kind of 1 foot over here, 1 foot over there with like Smash and like traditional FGC stuff. But eventually Brawl was starting to wane down for me, and Marvel was way more popular. So I'd kind of quit Brawl and was just playing Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And I think Blaze Blue at the time. Then Smash 4 came out, and I hopped right back over into Smash 4. And that was a really wild era. I was very good at Smash 4. If not PR, at least HM for a lot of the lifespan of that game. Again, I tried to play, I played 3DS because, you know, we all got scammed. But I was playing 3DS. I didn't want to play Diddy in 4, and then I found out how broken he was. I was like, oh, word? Okay, so right back to Smash 4 Diddy. Things were good. Fun fact, I have been to several of the worst Smash tournaments that have ever happened. Boots on the ground for them. One of them was Apex 2015.
Oof. Brutal.
And this was formative.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know everything about Apex 2015.
I know a handful of things. I was, again, I at this point, like, if we're looking at 2015, I had graduated college. I've been working. Like, I stopped going to concerts. I stopped enjoying things. So that's where I was at. Let's see, 2015 did I join my current company yet? No, it was still a couple years out before that. I was working a armed security job, I think, at that time. So like I had zero concept of being an individual yet.
You hadn't gotten there yet, and that is okay.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to dream. That's why the uniforms were the perfect color gray to oppress free thought.
I hate the color gray. It is literally my least favorite color. There's ways I can make it work, but I won't go full fashion gay right now. But I hate the color gray. I promise you. So wearing a drab gray uniform I would be even more depressed. I get it, and I think I was a server. I was working at like B-Dubs, and that had his own series of hellish nightmares and crazy stories as well. But Apex 2015, speaking of hell, so I had like no money. What was I, maybe 24, 25 at the time? Ooh. So I had like no money. I hadn't started making money. I didn't really start making money till like my 30s, but like, yeah. We went to Apex 2015 in a buggy. Fun fact, I am 6'3", and we drove there 12 hours each way in a blizzard. Oof. And I was
in a Volkswagen?
Curled up in a Volkswagen Beetle. I'm in the front seat, but I'm curled up like cooked shrimp for like 12 hours. On the way to
good Lord,
Apex 2015. So just getting there was bad. But it was like the first big Smash 4 major. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Me and my best friend at the time were like very, very good. And all things considered, we ended up getting 17th out of like 180 in teams. Like we were really good at Smash 4.
Oh yeah.
Also Diddy was messed up, but I really started grinding this all out as a competitor way before I started casting. So that's why I always have like kind of a different perspective with casting. And I feel like most casters have as well, I would hope. But that tournament's crazy. The hotel gets condemned the morning of pools. Someone hung something off a sprinkler that caused a fire alarm to go off.
Oh, so that's what caused that to happen.
This is where it all started.
Yeah, because from what I understand, something was just wrong with the building, and that's what caused it to collapse. And that's what causes a collapse. It wasn't that someone damaged something. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. the building wasn't safe for, honestly, it probably saved us if that happened, because the building wasn't safe for us to be in. Because I remember getting there the day before, and I'm looking, there's a whole wall that should be wall that's just trash bags of a hotel. By the way, this is during a blizzard. So I'm like, that doesn't seem safe, but okay. I go up to our room and I look at the parking garage, and I'm not kidding. There's like a giant crater, like anime style, on the top level of the parking garage where it is caved in, and there's cars that are still parked up there. I'm like, are those cars even going to be able to get out?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
And so I thought going to freaking like abandoned steel mills for to go see Leftover Crack and Star fucking Hipsters was fucking sketchy as fuck.
Truly, I bet the steel was better reinforced.
The abandoned steel mill was probably safer.
I would have felt more comfortable. Yeah. So I'm like, I know it's abandoned, but I know that was OSHA certified.
At least at one point, right?
At some point, right? At least it used to be. So it's 8 a.m. We all have to evacuate the hotel in a blizzard at 8 a.m. The morning of pools, right? The fire department I'm not joking. The fire department comes in and they're like, the ballroom for this has a max capacity of 500. There's 1,500 people. This building is condemned. You've broken the law, and people were literally getting arrested. So the hotel staff was getting let out in handcuffs.
Oh my God. That's something everyone misses in their documentaries.
Oh yeah. No one brings it up. It was like to jail now for even trying to host this here. So the whole thing is insane. Oh, hold on. My cat is trying to turn off my brand new PC instead of doing anything else. Go away. Now he thinks we're playing. Oh, sorry. Cat.
Oh, good.
I can never get through an episode of the podcast without the cat either.
Cats be that way. I have dogs though. I have dogs though. They when they come in, I'm like trying to like do something, and one just like sits in front of me, puts their head on my knee, and is waiting, and they'll like scratch at me. And I don't have small dogs, right? So like when you have a 75 pound pit that's like waiting for me.
Yeah. You got to play defense in your own home.
Exactly.
I get it. Oh,
so people are being arrested.
So people are getting arrested. We're trying to eat something. We order this pizza. It is, to this day, by far the worst pizza ever created by man. Where the hotel's being condemned. I don't have money to just buy an extra hotel. So we're like, what are we even going to do? We didn't have a plan B. We didn't think we needed one. Get away. He literally jumps right on the power button. I hate it. Go away. Okay. I'm on my laptop, not my main tower, thankfully, but he tries. Anyway, so I'm eating the worst pizza that's ever known to man. We're getting condemned. We don't know where the event is even going to be. We drove 12 hours to be there. Things are bad. It all ends up working out where they book another venue day of. Very canceled former personality person, Sky Williams, was friends with one of my friends and bought us a hotel room, which was very lucky. So we were like, thank you for that. So we were able to keep at least competing for the weekend, right? At the new venue, which is like 40 minutes away.
Crazy amount of volunteers bringing things over from what I hear.
Yeah. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. Have you watched Pluribus randomly?
I have not yet. I hear it's really, really good.
It is mind-blowingly good. It's new. But there's a scene where they reassemble a grocery store with like 100 people in like 30 minutes, and it was just like, oh, this is probably exactly what that was. But I can't get into the plot of Pluribus. But anyway, so we're there. We're doing really good in winners. We have like one more team to fight before we can make it into like the next phase, right? Like that top 24 area. And it ends up being Hungrybox and somebody else. And they were like 45 minutes late to our set. So we're just like, so the TO just came up and said, I guess they're DQ'd. You guys move on. We're like, cool. And then as soon as we like jump for joy, he comes up with his teammate like, hey, sorry, we're here. So they're like, go play him. We're like,
45 minutes.
Okay.
Yo, top player privilege extends beyond their immediate game, especially in those days.
Oh, for sure. And don't get me wrong, I'm late to bracket all the time. In the circumstances of this tournament, anyone being late for anything obviously would make sense. So
Give
it wasn't really like
grace,
a huge deal.
any other
so Grace was
tournament,
getting
though.
this. We're like, right. They're like, all right, fine. Y'all got to play Hungry Bucks if you want to advance. We're like, okay, we're nervous. But we like 2-0 him and his teammate. We're like, oh, we did it. We made it to like top 24. I think that's the same tournament that like the Left and Chillin' dude said is happening. Like there's so much history in that tournament. But all things considered, we make it to Sunday. We end up going out at 17th. We lose to the Buzz and somebody else for like 17th. And I was like, hey, we did amazing. This is great. So that really cemented my competitive journey. I was like, all right, we've been through hell and back just to be here, but at least I've done well. I'm getting crazy results and I'm having a blast. So, well, not really, but I'm having a blast. When I'm in bracket, I'm having fun. Every second out of that is terrible.
It's a nightmare.
But from then on, I was like, all right, we're going to grind this. We're going to try to be a top doubles team, blah, 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 blah. We have some good stories all throughout Smash 4, but eventually I quit Smash 4. As you know, the DLC comes out and the game gets like worse and worse. Rage as a concept is just terrible, especially the way it's implemented in Smash 4. It's not great in Ultimate, but it is horrific in Smash 4. I mean, we went through customs for a full year. Oof. We went through, pre-patch Bayonetta, post-patch Bayonetta, Cloud.
Bayonetta in general.
Yeah, we went through everything. The tournament I quit Smash 4 on, it was Frostbite 2017, which I missed that series. I wish it would come back, obviously. Mm-hmm. But, Michigan Smash is doing what they can. But so Frostbite 2017, I make it to like day 3 of singles, or like Sunday. I make it to Sunday. So I don't know where that is in the bracket. Probably like top 64, maybe top 48, somewhere in there. I'm like grinding the game out, but the game definitely has problems. I will never forget this till the day I die. It is game 3. There's this like Chicago Marth player who honestly I played a bunch of casual games with the night before and like doubles at like a hotel. So I thought we were cool, but it's game 3 or Lucina player. He's at 158%. I'm at like 55. I go for a monkey flip. He does a rando F smash from center stage of Smashville and it destroys me. Lucina, not even Marth. It literally killed me from center stage at like 55. And before I can even react, he pops off and says, yeah, let's go. Suck my dick. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. GG's. And tries to like stick his hand out. I'm just staring at him. I'm like, I was better than you for 14 minutes back there. You literally let a random smash win. This game is designed so bad that let you win. And then you told me to suck your dick. So I like walk off and I'm like, no, I just leave. I'm like, I'm done with this game. Because also at that point in 2017, that was also the same day that like Tweak also started playing Bayonetta and the non-Bayonetta players became Bayonetta players at that tournament. And I was like, all right, I'm kind of over this at this point. Again, random lore drop. Somebody, it might have been HBox, watched that happen and tweeted out like, yo, this dude just popped off and told somebody to suck his dick and the other guy didn't shake his hand. I'm like, I'm not shaking his hand. No. You just robbed me so bad. You just hit your C-stick and said, let go and let God. And it killed me from center stage at 55.
Bro was like, let it rip tater chip and that's it.
By the way, if I'm at 55 from Lucina, that means you landed maybe one hit confirmed before that. You hit me twice that whole stock. And you popped off. I'm over it. Between that, Bowser, Donkey Kong, Bayonetta, all that, I said, I'm done. I'm going to go play a real balance game, like Dragon Ball Fighters. I have a terrible trend of this, where I keep abandoning Smash to go to a kind of worse other game. So now I'm playing just DBZ for a year straight. I go to Evo, make it to day 2 of Evo for Dragon Ball Fighters.
Hey, hell yeah. If you would have, if Chipotle was around, you would have gotten the card.
Oh, they owe me a couple. Actually, yeah, I definitely should have had a bowl. Crazy set of circumstances because life is never easy or fun for me. So to make it to day 2, I have my final set all at the same time. I'm playing my final set to make it to day 2. An IRL real life stalker I had in Ohio is for some reason at the tournament in Vegas at my pool watching me play. Like real life, like Joe from You, like stalker. And I didn't even have much of a social media presence. I still really don't, honestly. So I'm playing to make it out. My actual stalker has appeared behind me. And before that, I had some spicy Popeyes that my stomach was not agreeing with. So I'm dealing with the craziness of Dragon Ball Fighters, the most violent IBS you can imagine, and my stalker all at once.
Oh man,
I beat that guy. I beat that guy because I had a sense of urgency I've never had before. I win that set and physically run to the bathroom away from my stalker, and also before I ruin my outfit. And
Good
that
Lord.
is how I made it. That's how I make it to day 2 of like Dragon Ball Z.
Next day, greatest way to.
Oh yeah, I'm like, this is literally like literal life. This is an actual life or death scenario, like literally for me. So I ended up winning. I make it to day 2. This guy speaks not a single word of English. He has a translator, some dude from Mexico. One of the greatest people I've ever fought in my life. He blocked like 4 mix-ups I had never done before that I wasn't sure how to block. And I was like, tell him I said GG's. Like, he's got it. But but at that Evo, again, I'm full-time in like in Dragon Ball Fighters. And I'm like, well, let me go watch Smash Top 8. And I'm literally at the Evo that the infamous like Bayonetta standoff is happening at.
Oh, this is the 2018 then, right?
Yes. Yeah, 2018. Yes. Boots on the ground for that. I watched that and I'm like, I would rather go drink. And we just leave. I'm like, I'm watching. So several of the craziest things that have happened in Smash history, I was boots on the ground for just from bad luck.
From bad luck.
From just bad luck. Because I was like, you know what? I'm mostly here for fighters, and as far as Evo goes, that was Goichi Sonic Grands. That was like an amazing year for Dragon Ball Fighters. So that part was great. But I'm like, let me check in. How's Smash doing? And I see like, I think it was like Niatono was like the last non-Bayonetta player left in the bracket. And I'm like watching him lose. I'm like, okay. And then I see the Bayonetta standoff. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go drink. So, to the detriment of myself, because that was Vegas. So that Vegas is a different beast. As many of us know, yeah. But basically, from there, I'm at a point where it's like I have this curse, at least for Smash 4, and I guess fighting games in general, where I will, if I know exactly what placement the money like ends, like if this tournament pays out top 8, top 5, top 4, top 3, top 2, I had a curse for so much of Smash 4 where I would place exactly one spot out of the money, and it happened back to back, and it's a psychological problem that I have to this day. The only 4th place I have in a 2XKO bracket is the one weekly there was money on the line. So it's still happening to me now. But basically, this happened to me in Smash 4.
Following you everywhere.
Everywhere. One, that's happening. So like competing is becoming like really rough on my mental stack. Yeah. 2, I spend so much time talking shit in the crowds, and I would hear the local people casting. I'm like, none of y'all are funny or good at this, which sounds very egomaniacal, but like I was like, y'all could all be doing better than this. I bet I could just do this. Also, I was an actor for like 10 years. I went to performing arts. I was like, at that time, I'd spent half my life being an actor, just not wanting to be an actor. I was like, well, it's the same thing. So once I started casting, and I was like, hey, I know I'll get paid if I show up. And I'm like, that's nice. I slowly started pivoting into just doing more casting. So I would like cast Smash 4 stuff, not compete as much. Sometimes try to do both. It's just tough. But when Ultimate dropped, super hit the ground running. The weekend the game dropped, there was like a regional. I was set to cast top 8 of that regional. It was like 100-ish players. It was the weekend Ultimate came out, but I actually had made top 8 at the regional. So I was like, damn, okay. So I ended up just casting Smash 4 top 8 and then competing in Ultimate top 8, which I only got 7th anyway. But I was like, okay, I'm still kind of riding the fence between competing and casting, kind of doing both basically. Yeah. And for the first couple years of Ultimate, I am doing that. There's events where like I had won doubles in Ultimate, but I also was still casting top 8 of singles later. So it's kind of hard to find the balance, and I just got a lot more comfortable casting.
It's like the Junebug situation where he was supposed to
literally.
He was supposed to like be the guy.
Way lower degree.
That's fun to know.
I did not have
like
the highs of Junebug, but yes, it does happen, because my thought process too is that like anyone casting the game, I think the myth that like only top players should cast the game, I think that's terrible, because being able to actually like orate and have a personality and make the game exciting and tell a story and do all this, that, and the third, that is a very different skill set from just playing Smashy Bros. And there's some Smash Bros high level players that are really good, and I wish would cast more. Like Mutace, for example, is actually a fantastic caster, but obviously he's constantly grinding. The Buzz is great. Charlie the King is really, really good. There's some people that can play at that level that are really good at casting, but it's not a universal carryover thing.
Definitely.
But long story short, because I spent so much time competing and still am competing in other games and still trying to cast, it helps with my perspective because it's very easy for me to like do analysis when I'm like, oh, this person got conditioned to roll here because they got away with it last time, but the punish is going to come like on the next stock, and then it happens. So it's like, because I spent so much time competing and getting into that mindset and playing that Yomi with my opponent, and I'm still competing and stuff now, that just casting is like, okay, I can narrate what's going to happen, but I also can entertain y'all. I can be funny. I can do play-by-play. I can do whatever. And that's basically how we got here. Sorry, that was very rambly, and I'm definitely on the downswing of my Adderall today. So
nah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. And more rambly.
Well, the point is the point of podcast is to be rambly. Also, I don't know if you noticed, my camera died, so I had to go to my PNG tuber.
Okay, I did clock, and I was just like, I won't bring it up. The show must go on. I just nothing about it.
That's why I love being able to do dumb shit in OBS. Anyway, no, like that's kind of like the thing, right? Being involved in like just like long term in any given scene, you do bear witness to everything. Like a lot of like historical stuff that's just missing, right? Again, in Turn Down for Waltz and all these other things you see, no one talks about the people getting arrested, right? No one talks about that,
right?
People don't
know.
I didn't know that the dueling bayonetas was happening the same weekend as Sonic Fox winning over Goichi. Right. I didn't realize that. Like, there's just like a whole lot that like you get to see and experience in that. And the other thing too is like when you're so involved in multiple different scenes, despite the fact, like you said, to your detriment on some of the unfortunate things, you do witness a larger breadth of history in so many different people's eyes that like, oh my God, you were there when Sonic Fox won. Like, oh my God, you were there when the dueling bayonetas happened. Like, yeah.
I was also there with a friend that was also all FGC. He wasn't even invested in Smash, so he's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "We're leaving. Is what's going on." Like, I didn't even want to like. It was such a poor and obviously like. It sucked as a competitor to watch it, but like they also were just kids playing a video game, and obviously that led to way more drama than it deserved for the circumstances of them just playing a video game. It's like,
definitely,
it's not their fault they beat you. The characters are crazy, but I mean, it's a fight. It's a top tier in a fighting game. What do you expect? You know?
Yeah, I mean that's the reason. That's where there's reason that that one clip always goes viral. It's like pick a top tier, pick a top tier.
Pick a top tier.
You're playing to win. He's like, you don't want to respect. You don't need to necessarily respect your opponent. You just need to win against them.
I've also gotten really lucky where, for the most part, in pretty much everything I play, it's very rare that I play a character that is like unviable. Like, I tend to play a lot of high and top tiers just because I genuinely like their kit, not just because they're top tier. Like, technically, Blitz is the first low tier I've ever like played for real, but because Echo is so broken and Blitz enables him to be broken in such a weird way with that restand assist, I have like a 12-way mix off of like Blitz's assist gives Echo, I'm not
Good
exaggerating
Lord.
the number, a 12-way mix up. So it feels like I'm cheating because I am, but like,
so many dice you need to roll.
Yes, there's a lot of very scary guesses you have to be right on just to survive getting hit by Echo once, who's also an incredible character to like open you up. But thankfully, so I'm playing a low tier, but like asterisk because he's paired with maybe the best character in the game, and also it's a tag fighter, so matchups are a little different in tag fighters because assist and all that stuff, blah blah blah. But yeah, I'm thankful that I've never had to be like a low tier hero. Which, I mean, that's other people's journey, and I love that for them. If you really love that character that bad, hey, make it work, do whatever. Me, I like to win.
I'm trying to get into the money. I'm trying to get into the money.
Yeah. Deeply competitive.
Oh man!
Speaking of competitive, go for it.
No, I was gonna say, so like, Was that like when you started like really actively competing, I guess in every asset, was that like your driving force to like picking your teams? Like, who is my tier? Who are the tiers? And like, I'm guessing like tier list discourse was probably a little bit different back then compared to how it is in the most recent years.
I got, again, super lucky that like the character I would feel like is my soul character would always at least be high tier, if not top tier. So it's like we got lucky. Like there's not a lot of times where I would be like, okay, I'm just gonna pick up a top tier I don't vibe with. Because like if I can't have fun with the character, I just can't have fun with the character. Like straight up, I have to like your character's kit, or they have to be like funny or interesting or something. But like there's plenty of top tiers. Like let's say like Cloud, for example, in like Smash 4. Obviously, this character is broken and insanely easy to pilot, which I found out halfway through the game's lifespan. I'm like, there's no way y'all have ever lost this character, Jesus Christ. But like his kit didn't really speak to me. Like he's busted, but I don't really have fun with his like gameplay loop. I'm having that problem right now. Like Teemo's kit in theory really appeals to me, and that is at worst the second best, if not the best character in the game right now, but I don't really like his gameplay loop. So I could play Echo Teemo, or I could play Echo Yasuo and just be like, I'm playing top tier teams. But if I don't like the character's kit, I just can't vibe. Yeah, I can't fake the funk. So I just got lucky. The people that are like, I love Little Mac, I breathe and sleep Little Mac, I'm like, that sounds awful for you.
That's great for you. I would never choose that journey.
No.
I say that as someone who plays K Rool, but like I'm not trying to be PR in my local area. You know what I mean? I'm literally I'm really just a guy really there to hang out for the most part.
Right. And if your goal is to have fun and that character is fun for you and you're having fun in bracket, then you did it.
Yeah. So. It's like if I do beat if I do beat anyone and they lose to me, and I'm like, hey bro, I guess I won, and that's you should have won. You deserved it, but I got it, but you deserved it. It's James Chen had said once during I think it was like some like Evo videos, like I choose a low tier because if I lose, it's like, well, I lost with the low tier, so it's like it's not that bad. But if I win, it's like, you lost to a low tier.
Oh. It's so true, and it's my least favorite thing because like I'll beat a low tier main with my higher top tier, and they're like, "Oh well, that's just because you did." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you chose to lose at character select. You did this. No one made you play Little Mac. You don't have to. I'm not doing it. Look at me. I'm not doing it. I'm still in the bracket. I'm having a great time." But also, Ultimate is a special case where low tiers in fighting games have this weird like matchup check strength that they all kind of secretly have.
Yeah.
And some of them are just like they're bad and it's really easy to do the counterplay. And there's like sometimes they're bad because they're solved, and sometimes they're just bad, but you just don't know what's going on. Ultimate is a weird case where like all the low tiers have at least one or two things that are like kind of dumb, but it's also like a 90 character cast where you have to remember everyone's kind of dumb thing.
There's only so many things you can remember. Like, ain't no way you're gonna remember what to do against Bowser Jr.
No,
like how many of them exist?
Right. There's so few. Funny enough, so when I was at DreamHack this month, I was only hired for 2SKO and Marvel. Obviously Smash was there. I would do Smash. I didn't really care. So my friend Kevin with a K, shout out to you, love you down, Kevin. He hit me up. He was like, "Hey, you should take the Smash block tomorrow. It'll be with me." And I didn't see it for a couple hours. I was like, because I think he had texted me like right when I started my Marvel top 8 block. And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I love Kevin, and we for some reason never had a block together, so I'll do it." So I texted him back a couple hours later, like, "Yeah, when do I need to be there?" He's like, "Oh, at noon, but actually I'm not gonna be able to make it." I was like, "All right." So I'm there. Wow, so I basically got fleeced. So I was like, ain't this what happened to Huckleberry Finn, basically? I was like, okay. So I'm like, all right. So I take the block and I end up getting introduced to Kujo Kate, she's really cool. She's a Street Fighter caster through and through. That's like her main thing. She just didn't know Smash Bros. So I was like, that's fine. I'll guide you through this. I've been there casting a game I'm not familiar with. It doesn't happen often, but it is very difficult. Yep. So I was like, okay, cool. So we have our block together. Again, sweetheart, could not be nicer. And I'm pretty much teaching her all the most broken things a character is going to do and calling out when they're going to do it in real time. So I think like Cola is playing somebody in pools, and I'm telling her like, yeah, so when they're at the ledge and you see Cola looking for those jabs or those roll-ins, he's going to kill you, and this is how they're going to die. And then 2 seconds later they would die. I'd be like, okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. And then he like switched to Cloud, and I was explaining like, hey, his limit meter is really high, so at the end of this combo he should have finishing touch and he'll probably get like an air dodge read to kill. Oh, he got an air dodge read and he killed with finishing touch.
The clairvoyance starts showing itself.
Clairvoyance, PTSD. Who knows?
No. Little
Like,
column A, little column B.
It's like I always know the worst possible outcome, and I will get hit by it. So like, I'll know it's gonna suck, and it'll just happen. So, but yeah, all the low tiers always have something. So I was pretty much for 2 hours teaching her the something. I was like, oh, this is Jigglypuff. This is what they're gonna do that actually matters. And then they like, I think they like gimped like a Cloud or something. I'm like, yeah, this matchup is bad unless. Or like an instant or something, like unless this happens, and so yeah, it's Ultimate's tough because the very top of the meta is not.
Oof. Right.
I feel like
Oof.
I feel like in every game the top tiers kind of make you roll your eyes. Like even a game as beloved as like Marvel 3, like we all love this game, but like it's like Zero May Cry mirrors for grands, and we're all like, right. We forgot. Or it's like more Doom is like, yeah, forgot about some of the stuff. So I don't think Ultimate is unique in where its top tiers are not as fun to watch, but I mean it's year 7. I did not ask for Kirby Air Ride. I didn't. It was not on my bingo card. I said, Sakurai, I'm begging you to help us. What if I make Kirby?
Let him have his fun.
Let him have his fun. I'm gonna be over in. I'm vibing with 2XKO, and then whatever Smash events I'm needed to work, but I don't even physically have my Switch anymore. I lost it randomly. Long story.
What the hell?
I straight up, it's a long story. But I lost it, and I didn't notice it was lost until like months later. I was like flying to like visit family in Atlanta, and I was like, "Where's my Switch?" Damn, I almost left it at the tournament 4 months ago. So like, not only did I lose it, I didn't realize I lost it. So I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of So like, if I'm at an event and I'm bored, I'll play friendlies or whatever. Or if I'm at my friend's house and they want to play Smash, I'll play. But we're so far into the meta, and the meta is so very, very solved, and we know we're not getting a patch, and we know we can't ban a character because Nintendo interfere, but they also won't fix the character we want to ban, which is crazy. So
we got to make our own rules. We got to make our own stage type rules, which I don't think has been implemented anywhere yet, except for like smaller like scenes. It's like, all right, you lose your advantage to counter pick at the select screen.
Yeah, you really do. This is actually the only Smash game I've played where there was not a unified rule set. Because for Brawl and Smash 4, we had a unified list for both those games, and everyone was mostly fine with it. Actually, in the Midwest, Brawl had crazy stages. Like Picto Chat was legal, and frequently my counter pick because Diddy was broken on that stage. But we had like Norfair. We had wacky stages in the Midwest always, but for Ultimate, the opposite problem is interesting because there are so many stages that are viable. It is hard to narrow down which ones are the least janky. But our cup kind of runneth over for stages, so I don't think we'll ever really get to that point where we have a unified stage list or even a unified rule set, honestly, because Nintendo will make sure we don't ban a character.
I think the closest to us having a true unified rule set was the Smash World Tour in Panda. Like if it was a Panda event, you knew what the stage list was going to be. If it was a Smash World Tour event, you knew SWT is going to have its specified rules, or like we're going to abide by Genesis, we're going to abide by this, and like that's cool, but that's still at 3 different rule sets. You got to figure out whether or not you're going to be using.
Yeah, and there's some stages that'll be legal that are like wildly good for certain characters. Like I think it was whatever Pokemon stage that was legal, not Kalos or PS2 or PS1.
Unova?
But that other one, Nova, yeah. Like there were characters with warp recoveries that like just couldn't touch the ledge, and we're like, this is a great stage, but like certain characters are just straight up not viable here, so what do we do? I actually, as far as rule sets go, something interesting happened. So this year at Supernova, when I was casting for Brawl, there was an addendum for Meta Knight where like Meta Knight wasn't banned, but if your opponent picked Meta Knight, you were able to have control of the stages for the whole set. Mm-hmm. I'm like, actually, that's a pretty good workaround. Like, they don't get to counterpick stages because like they already counterpicked your soul.
They counterpick the set.
Mm-hmm. But this is the first year that happened, and then also player 1 won. So this is the first time like a non-Meta Knight won Brawl at Supernova like this year.
Yeah,
because they implemented a rule that actually helped. And I'm like, actually, I think that's a pretty good idea. And I kind of hope we get there with Steve, where maybe like you get to pick the stages you fight Steve on. I think that would be a solid workaround. Like, you still get his kit, but he doesn't get to like. Obviously, Steve is so far beyond the word broken. And please trust me, I mean, I'm sure you know as well, but I have been in the Steve trenches for a very long time. As a caster, as a spectator, as a competitor, as a Twitch viewer, everything.
Yeah.
So I actually would hope that maybe in the future we kind of get that rule. Or I mean, it's not too late. Maybe even at LMBM we can be like, hey, Steve is legal, but your opponent gets to pick the stages. So
they
at least they don't
like
have specific, specific stages that don't give them diamond faster or give them more iron for minecart and like heavier better blocks and stuff. Like I'm okay with that. I don't make the rules. I talk about the game. That's
it's like let's just consult Rockman and a handful of other and Didi.
And I know Rockman is sitting on more crazy tech that would get Steve banned, but after PMLG, he's probably like, let me chill. Because
the other thing,
and then
he released like how to counterplay against Steve. No one paid attention to that. He is like, here's all of the counterplay you need, and like half the people didn't pay attention to it, or they just continue to bitch and moan.
Like, he did release counterplay, but it does not offset the problem. Like, it helps. It does not. Like, getting footstool dared and dying at 90 for hitting a shield at any point, or hitting a shield wrong, getting up tilted and killed. Like, there's so many problems. Minecart should never, ever exist again as a move. There's
like 4 different hitboxes to it.
I have never seen a flying burst option kill move projectile command grab. Like, when I explain this to FGC friends, they're like, what? I'm like, no, that's all the same move. They're like, how could a projectile be a command grab? I'm glad you asked. Like, it's insane what we have to deal with. And also, as a caster, we're uniquely tasked with the idea of like flavoring the top tiers in a way that's still like engaging. And that's its own set of challenges. This year specifically, it was me and Script on top 8 for Riptide, and it was Syrup versus Akala. And when I was preparing for top 8 and doing my notes and stuff, I was like, this is probably the matchup I'm the least super excited for. But in doing my research, I realized, Akala has never lost to Steve Ditto ever, and has never lost to any Steve in his entire life. But also Syrup and Akala have never played. So I'm like, this is actually a pretty interesting angle on this. And then as it goes to like game 5 and Syrup wins, even though that matchup could have been a snooze, Steve Ditto in top 8 of a P tier, just because we've seen it so many times, because the storyline of the narrative around it was so interesting. I had a blast casting that set because we were witnessing history literally.
At that point.
No one ever before or since had ever beaten Akala's Steve. Probably still hasn't, because that was just in September. There probably isn't even a second person that's beaten Akala Steve as Steve. So
I think the only other viable Steve is probably Mia. But I don't think even Mia plays.
Mia feels like being Steve.
But I don't even think Mia even plays Steve like that. Like he definitely can, but he just chooses not to. He's like, I will brute force this with the Game & Watch. And he does from time to time. And like, I'm starting to realize that like Mia is the Sonics of Japan, and he's the John Ding of getting second for everything. He's like, he would be the greatest player if like Akala decided he needed to focus on school instead. He would be number one hands down. He would be number one hands down.
it's even interesting now having like Doramigi as the number one, but he has 0 wins ever against Mia.
Yeah.
I know if I'm number 2 and I see that, I'm like, bro, you mean the dude better than me? I've beaten in 16 tournaments, but he's better than me? That's crazy. I would be upset personally. I would take that personally. I'm like, he literally cannot beat me. I remember watching Grands at Supernova, and Doramiki goes down those 2. Supernova was an insane event, by the way, this year. My God, there's so much that happened behind the scenes. Oh my God.
Hey, if NDAs need to be stayed intact, keep those intact, go ahead. That's fine.
What do you know NDA? Okay, for my perspective, my Supernova experience was fantastic, but like what was happening with the players in top 8, like in their personal lives, was just all
so crazy,
dude, all at once. It was one of those things. Like,
oh God, that remembers. Yeah. The Sai show was great. Everything else
that was cool. It literally felt like the Donald Glover holding the pizzas while the apartment's on fire. That's what watching Supernova top 8 felt like to me. I'm like, are we good? We don't know if a player is like alive right now. There's like Doramigi, who's like 15, who loses to Hurt, and I think he had like a really, really good set record against Hurt.
Yeah.
But he loses in like either winter semis or winners finals. I can't remember. But he goes to the VIP section and he's crying. Again, this is a 15-year-old in a foreign country. And someone went to the VIP area to like film him. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? This is
horrendous.
Like,
horrendous.
What is wrong with you? Why are you filming a child? First of all, why are you filming a child? Full stop.
Yeah,
second of all,
that's the real thing.
You see somebody having an emotional breakdown, especially if you see anybody having an emotional breakdown and you're filming them, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But also,
no
you
reason
know
to do
exactly
any of
who
that.
this person is. You know exactly what the stakes are at like the hardest event of the year. This is the Super Bowl of Smash, bro. Why
100%.
like, don't. Like you can't need clout that bad. Sorry, some people, but
I mean, there's the clout goblins that will forever do whatever they feel like in order to get what they want. But Jesus Christ, man. Like I had said something to the effect of like that, like we are worse off for like not having everything play out the way it should have in bracket for, people being that way and like thinking they're entitled to like being able to dunk on folks. And like, okay, great, you want to get your dunk on. That's still a child. He still can't like get a learner's permit to drive. You know what I mean?
Right. In the case of Doramigi, I think he also brings his own food with him to America because he just straight up just doesn't like any of the food in America. Like this is a child that like is in the middle of I guess high school. Like this is a kid. We need to relax. And there is a very complicated kind of weird parasocial thing that happened to the Smash community when it comes to like top players or even us as casters. Thankfully, I'm not like getting harassed or anything because I'm known, but I'm not like one of those people. Like I'll sign stuff and get pictures, but it's not. I'm not like one of the A-list. Like, oh, where's he going? Like I think like TK has a story where someone tries to like talk to him about Smash stuff like at the urinal. It's like, bro, like like stuff like that isn't happening to me, which I'm thankful for. But it's Smash is definitely kind of its own kind of like microcosm when it comes to how we navigate relationships between like famous people and regular people.
Yeah.
And it's just been weird to kind of see it on both sides, how people act,
I think
there could be people go for it.
I would say, I think for a lot of these people who are like invested in it, it's like, there's a giant storm of things, right? It's like the parasocial nature of social media, the parasocial nature of watching and competing, individuals thinking you know who they are and you see them everywhere. The parasocial nature of how we watch the esport in general with like Twitch chat and all that jazz. There's, if they have content, the fact that they're constantly watching them and they kind of know intimate details about their life that gets put out, because of all of that. There's, not knowing how to interact with, the aftermath of COVID and having to be locked down and all that jazz. But like, and it's also a lot of these people are super fucking young who are like these competitors, right? A lot of these people like some of them weren't even born when I graduated high school. You know, like that's the other thing. For me, where I know, I remember, sidebar, it was just after the election results happened, and Arbiter boots up on what are they called on Twitter? Those like live things where like I forgot. Oh, Spaces. There you go. He fucking booted up a space, and I'm in there and I'm telling them, listen, everyone, this is just the beginning. You have to start fighting back. I was there. I was a senior when Obama first won his presidency, and everyone went there went, damn. I'm like, hold on, man.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's like I was just saying, hey, listen, Obama was supposed to be the transition into what we thought was going to be great, and turns out it was just more third way neoliberalism. But that's a whole separate conversation. That like
we can go there. You don't have to go there. We can go there.
Oh yeah, I know. But I was telling them that. Mm-hmm. But like again, these who are like you and like some other people technically consider your peers when we're like a decade older than most of them. Right. Yeah. In some instances, like almost 2 to 3 times their age. And like there's like a whole lot of life experience that they're experiencing through the lens of being a well-known figure. Me, mm-hmm. I understand that there is that layer of separation because when you grow up going to like backyard gigs, your most well-known, well-respected people are people in bands. You will interact with them. You will yell in their face to like share the microphone, and they will do that for you because of the showmanship of everything or whatever. At the end of the day, like there is still a understanding of like, yes, they are considered like these like well-known personalities, are known up and down SoCal or whatever. But you also know that they are an individual with faults, with actions. Like you can talk to that person at the end of like letting out all of your rage or whatever, and you have a different understanding of how celebrity is and how celebrity works at a local scene. And as like these bigger bands that are like you would see like at Warped Tour or whatever come through your town, and you know you could just talk to them like a normal dude. These people will be loading up their own amps, loading up their and setting up their own, you know, drum kits. Say, hey man, do you need help? And it's like, yeah, thanks. And you just grab cymbals and take them to the backseat or whatever. I get that understanding.
That's great.
Like I get that understanding because if it's a very specific kind of like DIY nature of like, we're all in this together. Some people have prominent voices, but at the end of the day, they're still people. So there's a respect that you have to have for that, because at the end of the day, they're just still some random dude. In Smash community and, you know, definitely just gaming communities and streaming communities in general, there is that like, oh my God, they are a god. There's like, oh, they're sending secret messages to me. And the perverse nature of that ends up being, I hate this person with every fiber of my being, and they have no idea who this person is.
Oh, someone they've never met, someone that's never been to an event or even like left their house for anything, will have the most intense reaction to someone that is just playing a video game that you also own.
Yeah.
And it kind of happens I think it happens in like regular sports where people are like, oh my gosh, I hate the Patriots or I hate the Bengals because I live in Cincinnati, which I do. And, you know, stuff like that. But like, they're not accessible to you. So exactly. There might be whatever on the internet where you know, see people saying, oh, you suck or retire, blah, 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 blah. But like, very rarely are you going to actually see them in person. This is different where you eventually might see those people in person if you do go to a major. And then it's like the weird trend of, do I even want to keep that same energy? Which, by the way, energy you shouldn't have. Because again, if you dislike a player for just the way they play the game, and I have several, I won't name them, for the way they play the game, that's one thing. But if you're like, oh, I hate this person and I hope that like real life awful stuff happens to them, there's a huge disconnect there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, all of us in the scene, we're all passionate to our own degree about, you know, how much we care about watching the game or playing the game. But like, These are just people that picked up a controller. Like, please relax. And also, when the bracket is over, they're a regular person. And
in between being on stage, they're just a regular ass person.
Right. You can feel how you want to feel. That is someone having a vanilla ice cream at Dairy Queen right now. Like, it's not that deep. Like, I promise you, it's not that deep.
The thing too is like they take the same kind of thing of like, it's not that deep for so many things, and the things that are supposed to be that deep, they think it's not that deep. It's like, and that's what leads to like that like perverse nature of like, oh, I hate every fiber with this person with every fiber of my being. It's like, no, you don't like the character, you don't like the play style, and you don't like the fact that your favorite person lost. That's what you hate. You don't want to violently assault a person because they picked up a character. You're misconstruing that with I like this character better. Right?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because there's this weird thing that happens in Smash, and I do not think it is quite the same in any other game. The second closest is like maybe Tekken, maybe. But there's this weird thing where a certain player can become popular enough for like the best character in the game that people start attaching morality to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't a bad person. This is just someone competing at a high level that wants to win and is choosing a character that helps them win. You can be like, oh, they're so carried or blah, blah, blah. Which, by the way, that's true and it's not true, because if they're that carried, then just pick up that character and also be a top player, and that shuts the conversation down pretty quick. For a lot of people,
right?
It's like, oh, you're so carried by Steve, blah, blah, blah. They'll say, and it's like, okay, but you can pick Steve, and I don't see you winning any regional. So what's going on?
I was like, listen, Syrup has proven, like, Syrup came up playing Ness. Syrup chooses
Syrup
Ness.
was the other best Ness player.
Yeah, right. Like, and let's also look at like one of our the Steve Aquila. He still chooses Pyra Mytha for certain matchups. He's for fun. He picked up Kazuya. Right. He tried, bless his heart, he tried the Donkey Kong for against Spargo that one time.
Oh, I missed that. That had to be like a deep counter pick, like Donkey Kong Cloud or something.
Yeah, he, bless his heart,
he must have been in the trenches.
It worked. It worked for one set for one game, and he's like, okay, it's not working anymore. Do I do Pyra Mithra? Do I go Aegis? Do I try to Steve? And it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate, right? But like, I guess my real point of there is like, if he could still pick up like 3 or 4 tertiary characters and still decimate people at a high level, it's not the Steve. The Steve is the conduit in which, you know, we get to see the level of high level of play. Look at Didi, right? Didi came up as a Pokemon trainer, picked up the Steve, like, but also has a Game and Watch, has like, it still has the Pokemon trainer, has a banjo, has like a tertiary Pac-Man in which he timed out Sonics. Right? Like, it's not just Steve. Right? It's not just Steve.
It's not. Yeah. Didi's a great example. Another great example, Tweak famously started off as a low tier hero, because in Smash 4 he was the best Bowser Jr., because I mean somebody had to be, but he was the best Bowser Jr. And then he was like, I don't even think Cloud had dropped yet, but like Tweak was really, really good with Bowser Jr. And then Cloud dropped, and then Tweak became Smash 4 Tweak with Cloud. And obviously it carried over into Ultimate. And Tweak is one of those people that like, he's taking, him and Leo are like 2 of the best people in the world to take a character that they might not even be familiar with, immediately shove them to the furthest point of their meta in no time flat, and then go back. Like Evo 2019, when it was Leo versus Tweak's Pokemon trainer, who we'd seen Tweak playing Pokemon trainer maybe a week before that Evo, and he is in Evo Grands and barely loses Evo with that Pokemon trainer. As a Diddy main, obviously he took Diddy. Like, there were good Diddy players before Tweak, but Tweak can take that character and just drastically move them across the meta and improve them, because like he is smart enough to do that. Like we have our feelings about certain characters or matchups and, oh, this is cheap, blah 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 blah, but like at the top level they're not just picking a character and just winning by default. There's way more nuance that goes into it. There's research that's being done, there's coaches, there's notes being taken, there's grind sessions that have happened offline and online before leading up to, like there's so much more that goes into it. So even if we have like, oh, like, okay, Sonic is one of my examples. Like obviously Sonic is a crazy ass character. And watching Sonic's time people out when he is timing people out, okay, not that much fun, blah 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 blah. But I always tell people like, yeah, I get it that can be annoying, but like Sonic's also, I still think bar none has the best movement in the entire world in Smash Ultimate. Obviously Sonic as a character makes it easier for him.
Yeah.
He has the best movement and stage positioning I have ever seen in my life in Smash Ultimate. Like the character's crazy, but so is he. That man is a genius. Like it's annoying, but
yeah, a little bit.
You're playing at the top level. You're going to want to play what's optimal. And if you have it's so funny. Smash uniquely has this problem where like they'll make really fast characters and the developers are like, yeah, so they'll approach you super fast. And Smash are like, so I can run away super fast. And they're like, oh wait, no, stop.
No, wait,
but
wait,
like
stop.
that only happens in Smash. Like if you're watching Guilty Gear and you see like Chip Zanoff, Chip is not camping you. He is in your face doing stuff all the time.
Doing the
thing. He has super speeds. Right. The Smash is like, oh, I have the power to get in your face, get this damage, and just leave. I will. It's optimal.
Time is optimal.
You're losing. It sucks, but it's optimal.
Yeah, Sonic's is definitely in that like same kind of conversation of like everyone's dogging on him, but like no one's realizing how much mental he has to have that level of game plan consistently and to almost never falter unless it's like he's going up against Spargo because, or whoever ends up being in Grand, right? Like, because that was his curse. Like I said, Sonic's, Jianding, and Mia, they all have the same exact curse, being second place at everything, right?
Yep.
But like for him specifically, he is grinding every little interaction he can, because every time he does something that no one expects, and that's how he takes the set, they're like, what happened? We didn't realize this was going on. What do you mean he was going to spring all the way to the top at the last second and near a timeout to get Zamba in the blast zone with an up air?
Right. This year at Afterburner. So it was me and Emma on. That's Bessie, by the way. Love Emma down, obviously. We're on and we're watching AK versus Sonics. And that set is so incredibly good. I think it's like maybe winner semis, the top 8, I think. But that set is so good. AK gets like 3 different F smash reads on Sonic. Snake F smash reads on Sonic. But also there's points where Sonic's like chases AK to like the top left corner of the blast zone and still recovers. There's a moment in that set where my brain is just like, these people are on a different level. But I think it's game 2 of the set. AK kills Sonic really early with F smash, but he's at very high percent himself. So he comes back to ledge. He gets forced off stage and Sonic tries to chase him and he has Snake Cypher. So he goes for homing attack to like kill him. Apollo Kage air dodges to kill himself to make the homing attack whiff to make Sonics kill himself. So he's still up a stock. And I'm like, I never would have thought of that. That is like, there's people that are thinking about this game in ways you cannot conceive. It was hands down one of the smartest plays I've ever seen. And me and Emma both just like lost our shit. We're like, that was so diabolical, but it was so smart. Like, I think we really do undersell how much intelligence it takes to get good at this game. Because there's like the mid-tier section of the bell curve where it's like, all right, you have no thoughts. You're playing a character that lets you kind of do whatever. Like, let's say like Palutena or whatever, where it's like, there's very little consequences to your actions and you're kind of just doing whatever. But at the top level, that goes away. Your habits are still getting picked apart at the top level. So
yeah,
it's nice to see these players still be able to do that, especially this far into the game too, to still be able to, like, have that spur of the moment kind of thinking.
I think the other thing, like when it comes to how we perceive the game. Like, and it kind of plays into like kind of what I was saying about like the weird parasocial nature and all this downturn as far as like the personalities of the game. It's like we all have our fan favorites, right? We all know who are the protagonists of the scene and the antagonists of the scene, the anti-heroes or the villains, the heels or whatever, how you want to describe them. There's always a moment where like, while it may not, that momentum may not carry all the way through, there is a moment where people go, oh, I get it now. And like for Sonic's, it was port 8, where he defends NA and takes the win over Japan, right? That's where he has that. Hungry Box over the course of his years, eventually after leaning into the heel character after the crab incident and becoming the darling of Ultimate, Which
was crazy, by the way.
Well, I know. Crazy. So insane, right?
I wasn't at that tournament, thankfully. So I didn't get that lore in person, but that was a really wild thing that happened.
I know. But like there's these people that like, there's the glimpses when everyone goes, oh, I get it now. Like the character hate is obviously going to be there still. Some people are terminally online in a way that it's like ruined them, that will probably take them down the alt-right pipeline. Then that will never go away. But like, you'll see them and be like, oh, I understand it now. So when you're seeing Sonic's going up against Spargo, it's game 10 and like they are doing everything they can to like survive and win the set. Sonics may have lost that, maybe have lost that, game 10, but still an astounding losers run that goes in the pantheon of losers runs, right? Akala, right. He has his entire journey all the way through, and he picks up Aegis to finally fight a fight against Spargo, and what happens? He is finally able to beat his number one like thorn in his side, the one person he couldn't beat, and he gets the win, not with the Steve, but with like the Aegis, and it's like, oh, he really truly is that talented. Eventually, if they're at that top level, they will have that one moment or performance when people will be like, you know what, I finally get it. Some people will always remember that. Again, some people won't. But there is that turning point. And I think I do see that from time to time where like the repercussions of that and the waves of that are understood. And like some of that does dissipate. Some people never get that moment. Some people never get a chance to get that moment. But the ones that do, it will always be at top of mind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Another thing too that I think people on the outside don't fully understand is like there can be rivalries amongst top players, and in Smash there's really not even that many big crazy rivalries. Like and those eras are fun from being on the outside looking in when there are like big rivalries. But most of the time with most of the top players, same for the top casters, we're just friends with each other. So there might be people like in chat that have like so much emotionally invested on one player beating another player, but like they were hanging out at Chili's an hour ago. Like, we have to remember that a lot of these people, we've all been in the scene for so long, and we're also, equally passionate. Well, we're also all passionate about it, but a lot of us are just like friends with each other. So it's fun to kind of watch that competitive nature between them. Where like there might even be like casual shit talk that's like not really rooted in anything crazy. But most of the time they're still friends because they're gonna be at every major with that other person, and they're probably gonna hang out, and they probably have similar stuff to complain about, or they probably need to share a hotel for the weekend, or this, that, and the third. So, I think there's a lot at stake. There's a lot of people that put. I can't talk. Oh my gosh. There's a lot that people put at stake, like rooting for their fave, but also they're mostly friends with each other, so it's not even like a crazy thing. And there's people I'm friends with that like I really want to beat them in bracket, but like we're still friends.
Yeah.
And vice versa. They really want to beat me, but like we're gonna go, have some terrible IHOP pancakes and call it a night. Like after this tournament, we're still gonna be friends.
And I think there was a oh god, it was a there's this like smaller Smash YouTuber, Muhammad SSB. He was streaming his run at oh god, what was the recent tournament that just happened?
Are you talking about Momo?
Huh? No, not Momo. Not Momo. Oh, okay. This is a younger kid. I say kid because I think he's literally 19. It's Muhammad SSB. He was previously under the YouTube channel Smash Connoisseur. But he was streaming his set, and then he was just like streaming like Leo doing friendlies with somebody. And then Icon enters into frame, and they're talking with each other, and between him and Icon, they're speaking the same thing of like a lot of these top players, high level players, talent in general, all are very familiar with each other because at a certain point, like they're at the point where they're going to run into each other so much that like it's inevitable that they're going to know each other. It's inevitable that they're going to have conversations and be with each other long term. Like it's like the thing with like the Beatles. The Beatles will always, there's another Beatle that knows what it's like to be a Beatle. Like Elvis, there's only one Elvis. Only Elvis knows what it's like to be Elvis. You know what I mean? So like these, while there's like generations involved with it, obviously, like, someone who's like blowing up on the scene that's like a well-respected caster or a high-level player, like if Akala spoke English and he spoke perfect English, despite the fact you would probably know him very well, you're not going to actively go out of your way to go hang out with him. That age disparity is like it's too there. It's too much there, man. Again, we were in high school before this kid was born. Which
like got me a Genkai pin that just says I'm old Yusuke that I have on my jacket. I'm like, yeah.
I say that because like I'm let's see, I'm going to be 36 in I'm going to be 35 in 5 months. Right. I was born in 91. Right.
I was born in 90.
Yeah. See, so we're like, we know what that's like. Like there's that big age disparity between like people who would ostensibly be in the same rooms if we're both at that level, but like that age difference is really going to show in that regard. Yeah. So like generationally, you're not going to like vibe in the same way, but like you're all in those same rooms. So like there's no way to like, or no reason why like something like, oh, I have such massive disdain because they play Game & Watch. There's no reason to think that, right? And
right.
Against, we understand that. We have the life experience to know what the difference is. Online, these
also. Oh, sorry. Go.
No, I say online. These people don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they really don't know. Also, funny enough, there is a certain circumstance that does kind of allow everybody to just bond, generation aside. Many Smash tournaments, not all, but many of them are in the middle of bufu nowhere of random places. So there's like, oh, we're at CEO, or we're at LMEM, and we're in the city, or we're at Gommel, and we're in Toronto. Which, by the way, God, I love Toronto. Shout outs to Gommel for Toronto alone, just being there. But there's other times where I'm at a tournament, I'm like, I'm in Des Moines, Iowa.
It's like, listen, man, I am probably the only person that's bilingual within a 13-mile radius outside of the occasional outside of MK Leo being here or something. Like there's no
right. There's nothing to do. Ironically enough, Supernova, there's this very, very famous bar in the Smash scene called Two Amigos because it is right next to the venue of Supernova and it's open super late. So going there was really fun. The first couple nights was like, there is no plan B. Please drive through. Do we just, so there becomes a point where like there's a little bit of like trauma bonding where like everyone at the tournament after the bracket or they're done for the day, casting, competing or whatever, we're like, what are we gonna do? It's like you're playing Uno the hotel lobby because you're like, there's nothing else to do out here. But I think it becomes different when it's like something like Gommel, where it's like, Gommel, my feet were barely in the venue. We are in downtown Toronto. I am going to go out. We're going to go eat. We're going to go club. We're going to do all this stuff.
There are things happening.
There's things to do. But if I'm in the middle of wherever for like some event, it's like, well, okay, I guess we'll play, I don't know, probably Cards Against Humanity, and I don't even want to. Like that's just where it shakes out sometimes. Yeah.
It's like who has some fight sticks, who has some leverless controllers. We gotta do something else.
what can we set up, or even just playing like friendlies or randoms or something? I think is always fun too.
Doing something different. So speaking of like generations, like, I've said this enough. I'm just saying it because I'm there with you of like being the older generation person. Despite the fact that, like, as far as my time in the scene, I don't have too much time in the scene. Mm-hmm. What are like some of the things that like you've seen as far as like the evolution of like generations of from when you started to where you're starting to kind of wane a little bit on and off to like where we are kind of right now? And what are some of like the big ebbs and flows that you've seen in your time?
Some of the big ones I would say is that, so with Brawl, I started that when I was like 17, I think. And social media at that time was not the same thing as now.
That was MySpace era, man.
That was MySpace era. That was like early
Facebook, early Twitter
era.
Yeah.
But things were different there because like Twitter wasn't what it was. I don't think Twitter existed yet, but Twitter and Jesus Christ, I predate Twitter. Sorry, I don't think Twitter existed yet. Nor had it become, the Third Reich. But we would communicate on like Smashboards because I was like a forum. Like Smashboards and SRK were like very popular at that time. Mm-hmm. So chatting. Sorry, my cat is messing up my artwork. Give me 1 second. 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, cat's always causing chaos. The cat's always causing chaos.
He's got the zoomies. I'm just gonna let him go outside for a little bit, or somewhere that's not on top of like my artwork that I just moved over there.
So, cat's always causing chaos.
Always. So getting text shared was very different because we had to like comb forums. It wasn't as easy as just like checking a hashtag and seeing the clips. As nice as that is,
yeah,
I'm very thankful for that. But like you had to like go in the forums and like look for stuff. Meeting up with people was also mostly done on like Facebook and Facebook groups. Yeah. So I have a ton of people added over the years over Smash and FGC stuff from Facebook because it's just how that works. But also Facebook is a lot more personal than someone's like Smash Twitter. So you kind of see that person's real life in a different way. Yeah. So I think a lot of the crazy parasocial distance wasn't the same thing back then because it wasn't like the other players of the game, like they were accessible, but not as accessible as now. So they were a lot more humanized. Or even if like something crazy was happening, it would be more like a word of mouth story. It wouldn't necessarily go straight to Twitter. And that doesn't, obviously, if it's something where like someone is in danger of being harmed, that's different. But if it's just like, whatever gossip, a lot of like gossipy stuff, like, oh, I heard they, eat peanut butter jelly sandwiches, but they only do peanut, like little stuff like that. That was more like word of mouth.
It's like, ooh, they poured milk before the cereal.
Yeah, like that would not have been as crazy of a thing 10 years ago as it is now. But I think people were honestly maybe a little bit kinder to each other too. There's some things that I wish were better. Like when I started in early Brawl and also Marvel vs. Capcom, like I hadn't come out yet, and the competitive gaming scene at that time was a very different place. Like,
Oh yeah,
just moving barely out of the Halo and COD lobbies at that time was a very much worse place.
Ooh, let alone. Listen, this was also before before Ice Cube solved racism with his hit show that can't be found anywhere, Black White.
When I tell you, I brought this up for our podcast randomly because that show, if you can find clips of that show, my
Lord,
God, everyone should have to. There should be a town hall explaining why they thought that show was going to be okay.
Remember, it's Emmy award-winning blackface.
It won an Emmy?
It won. It's award-winning blackface. It got an Emmy for makeup. Award-winning.
So you might notice my regular human blackface does not have an Emmy. But if I had just done what they did and just played around in some Nesquik, I could have won it. That's crazy. It's like, hold on. Does that mean the white characters that did blackface got an Emmy for looking like black people, but like black people aren't getting it? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like
fun.
Yeah. So this was before Ice Cube solved racism and got an Emmy for it. And his makeup team got it.
Wild. Because I think when it was airing, I was a kid, so I don't think I fully understood the gravity of it. But going back and seeing the clips as an adult, I'm like, everyone go to jail. Jail today. What is this?
To this day.
It looks like a somehow more offensive Chappelle Show sketch when you look at this. It is so crazy. It's like, wow.
What I can't get over is how, I don't want to say amazing the blackface was for the little girl, but it's so astounding. And maybe because
also,
we're
did
also
nobody clock it?
That's the other thing. Like what was the dad's name? Bruno. I think the dad name. I think his name was Bruno. Like how he just made up a random situation where he was being followed in a store. I'm like, oh, you made that up because that's something you did.
That's because a week ago you were following the person.
You were doing the thing.
Trying to buy eggs. That's what that was. That was that guilt. But here's the thing: like the makeup is crazy enough as it is, and there's also a camera crew. But in reality TV, the other people that aren't there have to be like, "What's this nigga in blackface in aisle 9?" Like you can't tell me that nobody clocked that they were in like extreme blackface and also massive reality TV cameras were following them around. You can't tell me nobody clocked it.
The son looks like a freaking alien. And I'm like, no, they obviously put all the time and effort into the white family. Mm-hmm. Because the son of the black family looks like a fucking alien. He looks like they just put like a rubber mask and prosthetics and poorly done makeup. Right. And we're watching this from like, watching a 240p. Like we can count how many pixels are in the video. Right. Mm-hmm. But the daughter, the wife, Bruno, well, not necessarily Bruno, but they did some effort.
They really went crazy. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the pictures now. Oh my God. Oh my God. They don't look white. They look at best white passing, but definitely at least biracial, the black family. The white family,
don't they look like aliens?
This is a hot mess.
Knowing that, you could see where the Emmys were looking at and why they're saying, you know what, they deserve it.
Yeah. Have you ever gone back? Do you remember the show? I hope you don't remember the show, but if you remember the show Touched by an Angel, the clip of the show went viral. Sorry.
It's all good.
This is the culprit, by the way.
There they are.
apologize to the people.
It's always the cat. Apologies accepted if you decide to give them.
He's chosen not to speak at this time. So there was a show called Touch Mine Angel where I guess it was like some daytime drama Christian television program. I don't know what was going on.
No idea. Never heard of it.
There's one episode where Della Reese is a black angel, and there's a white woman that I think doesn't understand racism, which shocking plot point, but sure.
Oh no, who could have seen that for coming?
But I'm sure you already know where this is going. But the very special episode is them putting her in blackface, and when I tell you, they do not even have the Emmy Award winning talent of the black-white team. So she looks like she's an even worse blackface.
Oh my god!
She's like running, and these two white men for the show are like, "We're gonna lynch her," which again, crazy. She's been black for 9.5 minutes, but she's like running through the forest.
Misogynoir is like extra rampant, so no one's clocked it. I don't think people know what misogynoir is at that point. So of course they'll try to do that right away.
But it's so the end of it all is she's running away from these two, like, I guess rednecks that are chasing her, but she has also got this thick Eastern European accent. So she's like, oh please, God, make me white again. It is so unwatchable.
Oh, good Lord.
So she sounds violently Swedish. And she's begging to no longer be black. It is a mess.
Oh, good Lord. I hate that.
It is.
I hate that a lot.
You won't be bored. I'll tell you that much. You're not bored. I don't know how we got there. Anyway.
Oh, I don't know. I think, we were talking about COD lobbies and the differences of like how generationally what are some things have changed. And yeah, definitely, but granted, the rise of the mana and infiltration is a little bit different, but that's a side thing. Acceptance of just queer existence in general. That's definitely something that has changed and moved and gone beyond what's where we were at the time in some instances. Obviously, the COD lobby language, very much a remnant of its time. Like that's why some scenes of the Smash Doc are a little rough. They are a little rough. They are a little rough.
Yeah, I mean, there's just straight up like terminology that was accepted that I was probably too young to even fully get the gravity of, but it's been a really drastic shift in that way for sure. Ironically enough, so for Cincy Smash, we got lucky. Like when I came out in like the Marvel vs. Capcom days, it was like one of very few. But Cincy Smash is so extremely gay and queer and trans and non-binary, like so much so that like there was a Smasher that semi-joke, and this is also a kid, he's like maybe like 15, 16, we tweeted this out, but like Cincy Smash has been so gay for so long that this person tweeted out, he was like, hey, is anybody straight coming to the arcade? I don't know if I'm alone. And we're like joking, we're like, nope. Like it was actually gay on straight bullying, being like, how dare you even ask? And it was the exact opposite of what it was really funny to see that in real time for everyone to be like, everyone's gay and also shut up about it.
Oh god. But
like prominent players, casters, TOs, all of us. So it was just it's kind of a funny thing.
Yeah. So thinking about that too, like your time in Marvel is, I'm guessing that it's in the time frame of Ricky Sanchez transitioning too. Yes. That's in that same time frame.
I was a huge fan of hers before she transitioned because like she was such a prominent Street Fighter player and she was like so loudly, proudly gay. I was like, I didn't know you could be both. I didn't know you could have fun and also be good at games. I hadn't seen it. Hadn't seen any examples. But I was a big fan of hers like before she transitioned even. And then when she transitioned, we're all like, well, yeah, no one's really shocked. But yeah, there were not a lot of prominent voices at all in the scene, let alone that were also like super good on the sticks. It's very different now, especially if you're playing like an anime fighter.
Yep.
There's a top 8 of 8 different trans women that will all like rob your wallet in this game. Like, it's very different now, but yeah,
we've gone so
Ricky
far.
Ortiz.
Yeah, Ricky Ortiz. Yeah, there you go. Who it was not Ricky Sanchez, Ricky Ortiz. Like that's we've gone so full circle now where like it's to the point where you can make the joke where if you have a trans daughter, you better hope they have the Guilty Gear autism instead of the VR chat autism. It's like, no, slap the VR helmet off of that head, get a stick and get your ass in the lab and make me proud.
They're either like winning this regional in Guilty Gear, or they're like top 500 in Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, or it is the gamer gene really hits hard, honestly. And then obviously like from Alien Ultimate, same thing, of course, too.
PM specifically.
It's fun to, especially PM, right? But it's been fun to see it because one thing I really didn't like about the Smash 4 era was obviously Bayonetta was a problem, and people hated them for playing the top character, as to a pretty similar vein to the way that people like hate people that play Steve now.
Yeah,
but with the Bayo era in Smash 4, there was like a lot of very thinly veiled homophobia, I think, because of like Captain Zack and the other top Bayos that were all gay, queer, or non-binary or whatever. And this isn't getting into the Captain Zack shit because that's obviously insane.
That's all separate thing.
Whole separate thing. But because they were like kind of flamboyant, and the character also, by the way, Bayonetta is made for the gays. I can name maybe 2 straight Bayonettas ever at this point. Like that like at least made it to being prominent.
Yeah, that's like, still stuck on the Bayo.
Right, like the week Tweak picked her up. I think it went up to like 3. But like but you're creating these like very fun femme characters, and people are gonna gravitate towards that. But they also don't. I feel like they got hate. A lot of it wasn't character hate. A lot of it was just like, oh, I hate this person for being like femme.
Yeah.
And we're gonna like loosely say, oh my god, these Bayo names. Like you want to say a slur so bad. You just want to say slurs.
It's like you said Bayo main with a hard F. I'm like,
with a hard F. Like, Interesting. Taking notes. Interesting. But yeah, that was unfair. Noticing. And I feel like we saw that now. Unfortunately, the very recent news that happened with Anand was crazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of these people are like still kids, and also getting put up on this pedestal where they're getting thrown into this level of like kind of niche internet micro celebrity, where like explaining the differences between like, to circle way back, between like the way competitive gaming was in like the 2010s versus now. Like people were not getting like death threats in their inboxes multiple times a day for playing a video game. Or,
no, definitely not.
Even getting booed, like I might take it differently than some other people just because I have that theater kid energy where I'm like, oh, I get to be the heel. That's one thing. But like, sometimes these kids are like fragile, and this means a lot to them, and turning around to a room full of people like wishing you death and hating you and shitting on you for playing the same video game you're all playing and making it up to that top 8 or top area is like crazy. And before the news came out, I'd always been really sympathetic to Anand for that, because I'm like, this is just like a 19-year-old queer kid that's just like playing the game. And then the most recent details of
what transpired
behind the scene was just like, oh, this is not what I expected, and it's obviously very disappointing to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, 9 times out of 10, this is a kid, or even like someone in like their early 20s, which is still mentally kind of a kid.
They're still a kid.
Play the freaking game. Like back off. I don't know.
Like it's different.
I don't know. I really don't know if it's for the better or worse how easily people can just like say how much they hate somebody and then just keep it moving, and then have other people like retweeting it and sharing it and growing it too.
No, getting the clout or on top of that is the worst. That's why everyone says like, let's just return to Smash boards.
Honestly, yeah, wouldn't be that mad about it. Would not be that mad about it.
Oh man, You know what, man? I want to go so much longer, but I know you have a hard out in about an hour.
Yeah. I gotta get to the gym before they close. My sister's coming in town, so I got like multiple things I gotta.
I know you have a hard out in an hour, and like there's so many places I want to go with this, but I feel like I need to cut it off right here because we do one last thing at the very end, and I want to give us enough time to actually do it. So for right now, we'll put a pin on this. If you're free again and I have some more time, hopefully we can chop it up and make it to part 2. But before we move on to the last part, I want to thank you for your time, man. I loved hearing you talk. Loved hearing, some of the crazy lore drops that have happened in the background. Again, never knew anyone got arrested at Apex. I want to thank you for stopping by. And before we move on to the last thing, which is a 10 rapid fire questions back and forth, I want to ask, is there anyone you want to shout out anywhere, anything you want to shout out, any individuals, any whatever, and also where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah. You can always find me on Twitter at SaiPBOK. I've been trying to change my username for like a long time. Whatever. That place is hell. You can find me on Twitter. I'm also on Blue Sky, but not that often. At Sai-FGC.bluesky. And my anime podcast, Shounen Chumps. We drop episodes every Friday. You can check us on all streaming platforms there. SHOUNEN Chumps. Currently, we're talking about Pluribus, which is Vince Gilligan's newest show. And if you have watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, you understand that this show is going to be incredible, and it already is. So we're talking about that right now. We're also talking about like Gachiagata, Spy Family, My Hero, and also, other movies we've seen. We had like an episode dedicated to like One Battle After Another, to Sinners, to all the other great movies that will come out this year. So always check me out there. And if you're playing 2XKO and you're in GM, I will see you unranked.
Catch that. What does he use? Is it like a bat or is it like a sword? Echo, what do you use?
It's like a bat.
Well, catch this bat in GM.
Also, catch this bat. Also, short story, but the first time I had the cosplay successfully done, which was a nightmare I don't have enough time to even get into the story on what it took to get this cosplay. Oh my God. But when I finished it, not the person I commissioned, finished it and learned how to sew out of spite.
Out of spite.
Mostly out of spite. Yep. When I was going to PAX, I had like this replica Echo bat that is like, it's like 6 feet. It's somewhere, I think it's in my car right now. It's like huge. It comes to you in 2 pieces, and when you assemble it, it lights up and it's awesome. I found out like 3 hours before my flight that you can't disassemble it, and it doesn't fit in the luggage. Oh, okay.
How do you check this in?
I worked so hard on this cosplay. I didn't think an engineer would be evil and make it so that you just can't fly with this thing. So I had to like take that Echo Bat through multiple TSAs, flying to Seattle, and I had to charisma check them so bad. Because TSA doesn't know what it is, so their first thought is like, "Oh, so like a bomb."
It's a weapon.
No, I don't think it's a giant plastic bat. And if I wanted to sneak like paraphernalia onto the plane, probably not a giant 6-foot neon glowing item. But like, I literally had to get it checked as like a separate thing. So getting it through TSA was really annoying. And then I have pre-checks, so like this should be easy. But I'm handing them the bat, and they're like waving it around. Oh, what is this? Like, you're having fun. I have a flight. Can we not? But like one TSA person happened to have watched Arcane and was like, "Oh, he's good. He's just a nerd." I'm like, "Thank you." So I'm not a terrorist. I'm just cosplaying. Like,
I'm just a nerd. Leave me alone.
This is not a bomb. A giant 6-foot neon blue glowing item would not make a good bomb. I just want to please
just throw that out there.
Please. But also, I had to use different words because there's words you say at the airport that you can't say.
It's
like I can't talk about state. in Smash Bros. There's just no way. I refuse to do it, actually.
This is true. Oh God, the badness of that.
Don't show me the clip.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to. All right, man. So, like I said, we do 10 rapid fire questions. So, if you win the coin toss, and I will be honest on what happens. You get to choose to ask either the first question or the last question, which means either ask first or you ask second. If you go first, if you go second, you end up speaking the last question. So what would you like to do? Heads or tails?
Heads.
All right. So according to this it's heads. So go ahead. Either choose the first question to ask or the last question to ask.
I'll do the last question to ask.
All right. So I will go first. All right, I'm going to go with the joke question right away. How does it feel to be probably one of 4 black people that actually had the Killmonger haircut?
I cut my hair like this in like 2019. This was before every developer in the world also wanted to do this, because for them, a new black hairstyle had just gotten unlocked. So it sucks. Because when I did it, it was trendy and cool and fun. It is not my fault that Eddie Gordo also has his hair and all the characters now have this hair, because they did it when I did it. So now I'm in this weird place. But also I've been growing it out so I can like tie it up, I can bun it, I can change it around if I want to. It's not as crazy. But like every time that hate train comes up on Twitter, I say nothing. I will not be the main character. You will not catch me slipping like that. That is not my fault. That is unfair.
I think the funniest part is the fact that it's being called the Killmonger.
I mean, it kind of is, because he kind of innovated it, and it's fun. But that's not on me. If I literally just pull it all to the back, you don't know, like But yeah. I've the funny side thing of like out of everyone I always hear like the online discourse is like no one in real life has this haircut, and like maybe I have an extremely small sample size because I work in the tech industry, so there's not a lot of diversity in certain aspects of engineering. There's not a lot of like diversity in engineering. But like the 4 black people that work in my entire site that I interact with, none of them have the haircut. So I'm going to continue saying, yes, this is a false reality. It is, but I will say this, not what I'm wearing right now, but most of the people that do have this haircut do have a certain fashion sense and care about fashion. So when I see someone else, like if I run into Dr. African at an event, I'm like, you always have on a great outfit because we care about aesthetics and stuff like that, But no, there's not a lot of diversity in engineering. Shout outs to me as an engineer. Very little diversity.
Yeah, it's weird that it falls on me as a Mexican guy to tell people, yes, technology is racist. Yes, science and medicine are racist. There's a reason why they have to tell nurses, no, darker skin is not tougher than lighter skin. Like, no.
Oh my God.
We
had 2 separate stories this week of like black women being in labor at the hospital and getting dismissed and giving birth in the parking lot or their fucking car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This week.
Yes, I know. Like I had to tell people, hey, have you ever noticed like sometimes like black guys have to like rip a paper towel to put under the soap dispenser so that they can get soap? And they're like, yeah, why do they do that? Because it doesn't see darker pigment on the hand. And once they get that first bit of soap, then they can start getting more soap. I've always wondered that. Yeah, man. Because the people who developed it
did not consider black people existing.
It was like they got 0 melanin in their skin.
It's a room full of just white people being like, that sure was a great day. I'm just like, hey. Also, I would like to wash my hands. So I need to soap more than you, low key.
And let's be real, us as minorities, We use the soap more. I'm just saying.
We are. Y'all don't even appreciate what you have.
Mm-hmm.
You have a custom white person catered soap dispenser and don't even bother to use it. I'm trying to wash my ass. I'm trying to wipe my hands. All that. Anyway.
All right. Your question number 1.
Okay, my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say for the end, but if it's too crazy, you don't have to get into it. But
Sure.
I am curious, and you've probably been asked this plenty of times. But what is it that compelled you to be straight edge Jesse? Like, what was there, like something that happened, or have you like never really? I mean, you said you've been to a lot of punk shows. So I'm sure you've seen the worst kinds of drunks and people that are like,
oh yeah. A funny side tangent before I get into like how that happened. I hosted a show at my backyard in high school, and the next morning, I knew I was going to find some things like, used pads. It was a very used pad in our rose bushes. But also
in the bushes? I think it's like the trash in the bushes.
Yeah.
You can't need this. You cannot need to hear the song that bad. I know you don't. You can probably hear it in the bathroom.
Yeah, but there's also the thing that I was like, I knew this was going to happen eventually, but it only happened at one of them. It was a bent and burnt spoon that was found in the dirt. And I was like, we don't have those spoons at my house. So yeah, someone shot up heroin in my backyard.
Oh, okay. Or they wanted one chocolate chip cookie.
One chocolate chip.
To make a single serving of a chocolate chip cookie.
Let's go with that one.
Now, yeah, maybe that's what it was. They had a hankering for one cookie.
For a singular cookie, a cookie bite, if you may. But no, so it's basically like I never did drugs. Like I wasn't venturing myself to go do drugs. Mm-hmm. And as I was like getting deeper into like punk and metal and stuff, I found out there is a term for people who don't do drugs. And it's like, oh yeah, I am straight edge. That'll be what I go by. And the fact that like I was the only guy that was straight edge at the time, because this was also during the rise of like metalcore. So like Suicide Silence and like Bring Me the Horizon and all that were starting to like really get their big prominence during the MySpace era. The only straight edge people knew that were known in my immediate scenes were complete assholes. I was chill as hell. So they were like, you know what? That's my guy. And that became my tag as a result of the fact that that's just what people called me, straight edge, because I was the only one that was chill. And it's been the same ever since. And like at this point, it'd be weird to pick up like, I don't know, like alcohol and weed or whatever in my mid-30s. At least I think so.
It would be. I happen to be very lucky where I am pretty much just hangover immune. And believe me, I have put in the work. But
did some training.
I cannot imagine. I have been through several shonen battle arcs of drinking, but I promise, because I'm mostly hangover immune, I think I have somewhat of a different experience. Starting at 35 sounds awful. Because finding out if you can get hangovers and how bad it would be, no, God, no.
I've had
like 1.5 my whole life, and I just got really lucky. And people keep saying as you get older, it's going to happen. I'm like, you know my body. But
you don't know me.
But that's not everybody. A lot of people around this age are like hangovers last the full weekend now. They're 2-3 days. I'm like,
Suck to you.
Also, it's very easy to like drink to excess and become a burden on others for something not me. But I thankfully my friend circle and I we're all kind of past the babysitting phase for the most part. Where it's like this because if somebody's too far gone, your whole night is making sure they're okay, and now no one's having fun basically.
Yeah. So, And it's also kind of fun being the designated driver for things, especially when, we're driving out to the LA and like the show is technically a parking lot. It's a parking lot that like has fences and walls around it. And someone brought generators for a show to happen. And then it gets raided. And now like, well, now what do we do? We're in the middle of LA.
Oh yeah, when the party breaks up and you need that driver, you need that driver. Yeah.
So yeah, that was me.
Unfortunately for me, I have crippling anxiety, which no one ever believes me when I say it because but you're so yeah. So for me, like clubbing and stuff like that, I drink because it like helps. And not even necessarily to get like super let's get wasted and throw up on people, but it's just like a drink or two to like kind of get me to like normal-ish. And by normal I mean not crippling anxiety on the dance floor and then just like having fun with everybody else.
Yeah.
Just being all weird. But it's a very delicate balance, and a lot of people are not lucky enough to be able to find that balance early, or end up spending a lot of time becoming a problem for themselves, and others have to go through being in recovery and all that. I didn't have to do all that, but I've seen it happen to others plenty, so I totally get it. Like I 1,000% get it. 100%.
All right. Our question number 2's. Let's see. What do I got right here? This is, I'm going to bust out a classic question that I use all the time that is ripped from one of my favorite podcasts, Goods from the Woods. What is something from your childhood, your favorite thing from your childhood that isn't there anymore?
Ooh. It's technically there, but it's not there. But I would say, how do I word this? I'll say the Dreamcast. Actually, I to this day remember the Christmas morning I got my Dreamcast, and I loved that console so bad. It was so far ahead of its time. It had such an insane library. It was actually very early to like online gaming via a console.
Yeah.
I even had my copy of Marvel's Capcom 2 on Dreamcast. Yes, I go back that far.
Hell yeah. We have it on PS2.
Right. But I was exactly 10 years old, and I loved that console so bad. And obviously I can just emulate it. I can just play Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 whenever I want.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same, but oh god, I miss that console. And now with like the push that Gen Z and Gen Alpha have for like Y2K aesthetic and fashion and music and stuff, it's like, yeah, a lot of this is inspo from the Dreamcast. I saw 50 of you hoes dressed as Ulala from Space Channel 5, and it's a great outfit, and you should wear it. I approve. I'm glad. Yeah. But like, a lot of people are dressed like either Ulala or the people from like Jet Set Radio and like loving that aesthetic.
Hell yeah.
Which is kind of weird because I lived through that aesthetic, but yeah, I do miss my Dreamcast dearly. That was great memories of that console.
Beautiful. Beautiful answer. Mm-hmm. All right, your question number 2.
Question number 2. Let's say top 3 movies. Ooh. Any genre, any reason for them being in your top 3 movies you've seen.
I'm going to go unordered because I think the order changes depending on, what I'm going with. Definitely Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
It makes a lot of sense. You can see in my PNG too. I'm wearing a giant Jack Skellington.
I literally can see it, right?
Before my camera like died, I have like a Jack and Sally Funko, and I have like another like extra large one that has Jack next to a Christmas tree. Love that thing. So I think that being one of my favorite movies of all time kind of led me to be primed to be into like punk and metal, considering everything we know about Hot Topic in that era. Right. Definitely Coco.
I still have not seen Coco.
Oh,
I know it's gonna wreck me when I watch it, but I still haven't seen it.
It's such a beautiful thing because it is like an incarnation of different parts of my actual childhood. So like my grandma gave me my first guitar ever, and my growing up, my parents didn't, not my parents, but like my mom wasn't really supportive of me like trying to be into music and stuff like that. But eventually, that part of the relationship got better. My dad's side of the family has like are shoemakers. So like one of the, like my last memories of my grandpa and my grandma on my dad's side was the last time I was in Mexico, where it was my grandpa on one side, me right here on like the other end of the table, and my brother and my dad on the other side. And it's just like 3 generations of us all marking up leather for the shoes right before, they get cut and stitched as they need to. So the fact that like that is a prominent thing in there, hearing the opening Disney theme be mariachi hurt my soul in a way that like I've never recovered. Right. So definitely, then there's just like a lot of things in that, like about Mexican culture that like was greatly ignored for a long period of time. And every year Coco becomes more and more important, especially, given where we are with the administration and the rising tides of fascism and racism and, where we're heading. It's something super important for me to see that, to know that younger kids will grow up with. And by the same token, that's part of the reason why I love the Book of Life, for that same reason. And everyone forgets about the Book of Life, but people think, oh, there can only be one. There can't be 2 movies about Dia de los Muertos, but whatever. And I think my third favorite, it's either going to be, I think I'm going to go Born in East LA. Because, again, freaking Cheech, like in the whole thing about like, it doesn't matter if you were born here. If immigration wants to take you, immigration going to take you. And the silliness that ensues from such a horrible story is actually pretty fun. Yeah. So that's what I think. All right. Questions number 3. Ooh. Do you remember the first tournament you said, I think I finally found my place in the scene? Or if actually no, let me reword this. Do you remember what tournament it was when you realized where you finally established yourself in the scene? Like, did you have an epiphany moment, and what tournament was it, if you remember?
Establish myself like as like a player or like a caster, or just like anyone in the scene in general?
As anyone in the scene.
Okay.
Like, where did that sudden epiphany hit, if that epiphany ever happened?
I think it hit at like a very small. It was probably the first Smash tournament where I had fought people that actually knew what they were doing competitively. And that was at a very, very small local at this place near me that used to be called Rock's Cafe, that closed down, and like 9 other businesses have opened and closed in that specific location since. But that was the one where I saw high level play for the first time. And I mean, I don't even mean saw high level play like on YouTube. Like, I saw high level play for the first time. Like,
you experienced it.
I think that's when I was like, okay, I definitely want to like go all in on this and like take this really seriously as like a player. And that had to be 2009, maybe 2010, probably. But yeah, that was probably the tournament, that one. And then if not that one, one of the first big in-state tournaments we had used to be this person named Nope. He would have like these huge house tournaments where the tournament's obviously happening, but it's a giant, like almost frat house, low key, but it's like a giant house where everyone's also hanging out and staying the night, like playing till like 4 or 5 in the morning and just having a good time. Like, there is a bracket, but we're mostly just hanging out. That was probably the one where I was like, okay, I think I want to stay here. Cause I realized like I'd already made some friends in my school, And then I realized how fast you can make friends from around the world, or even at that point, just even outside of the city. So it was one of those two events for sure.
Nice. Nice. All right. Your question number 3.
My question number 3. Um, is there anything you learned about the scene that you didn't expect when you transitioned from like spectator to someone that started going to locals? Um, is there something you didn't expect to experience that you experienced?
I kind of had the inkling of this, but it was more of confirmation that like that the local scene is a little bit of that methadone of growing up in the punk scene and just DIY music scenes in general, or DIY scenes in general of all time. Like what I've explained to people is like gaming scenes are very different depending on the type of game that you're following. For fighting games, Smash in general, it is incredibly DIY. The barrier to entry is a lot lower than, you know, competitive first person shooters, you know, competitive Madden or whatever, 2K, you know, League or whatever. That barrier to entry is so much lower. And it's kind of a direct result of making do with what you have and building something from it. Like if you pay attention to like a lot of like the old heads of the SCG and the OGs, they came together in like the worst neighborhoods because they all had that 1 or 2 cabinets for Street Fighter, for KOF, for whatever it happens to be. And that's the reason why people came together in those scenes. And it was very of the people, for the people, by the people, making do with what they don't have. And right. That very much reflects the same kind of DIY attitude that's necessary in order to build underground music scenes and underground scenes in general. And to feel a little bit of that in a way where like, yeah, there's like gaming prestige and like tournament playa or whatever, but like at the end of the day, it's a bunch of people doing something for themselves, for a community, with the tools at their disposal to hang out and escape and release some of that tension that they have in the outside world. And in some instances, this is their creative outlet. And I think it was a confirmation that yes, at the local level, it's literally the same kind of thing. And it felt good seeing and experiencing something like that.
Okay, yeah. And it's true. That is a lot of people's creative outlets. It's a lot of people's escape from like potentially their home life, depending on how they are, or even the real life and how shitty real life can be for all of us. So yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Again, it is that methadone for that experience. Like exactly what you said. This, if it wasn't for the local scenes like this, you know, who knows how many queer kids would not have a place to live, not have an outlet to exist, you know, community, not have community, all this anything. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So like, to me, like, I love that kind of thing. And it is a continuation of what I experienced as a kid directly as a result of that. Yeah. All right. Question number 4. My question number 4. Oh, you know what? We're gonna bust out another classic. Outside of the Orca, are box controllers or leverless controllers cheating?
No. The only time I even vaguely considered this conversation was like way back at like UFGT, before Combo Breaker was even called Combo Breaker. It was like Full Schedules Breakout Performance with C Viper, who is a very, very technical character in Marvel 3, still is, also in Street Fighter 4 and now in Street Fighter 6. But like, I think he was one of the people that was pretty early to having like a hitbox, because that was like new at the time, and there was like a couple extra buttons on there to like help with certain inputs that are very hard. And someone tried to say, "Oh, you're cheating with this controller. You couldn't beat me otherwise." And then they like won the set in bracket using some random person's like stick. I was like, I'm still better than you. It doesn't matter. But no, I don't think any of those controllers like are cheating. Like, if there is some kind of small advantage they have, it's not going to be enough to win you a set 9 times out of 10, no matter what it is. I couldn't even tell you the big differences between them, but like leverless, no. I think any controller that like feels comfortable for you and allows you to play at your best level is fine. It's not like the game itself is doing. It's not like the controller's like doing inputs for you that you couldn't do before, or even if like let's say you might be able to react to something faster on like leverless versus like a regular stick or a pad or something. I've been a pad player my whole life actually, but no, I don't think it's cheating. I think that conversation is a little bit crazy. And hell, if it's like a melee conversation, it's just like that game is not intuitive. So no one should be punished for using a controller that helps them play a game that is intrinsically not intuitive to play. Like the concept of having to L cancel and having to do XYZ just to make sure you're not in an unnecessary amount of after lag for doing what you can normally do. Like, no, I don't think it's cheating.
And that's what I say, outside of the Orca, because I feel like the Orca, and I've had this conversation with Rien, because like the Orca is like that perfect bridge that can give you all of that good analog goodness and control without some of the inherent precision that like a box controller or any kind of leverless does. And I think that's just like that perfect sweet spot for people. So all I'm saying is I think the Orca is now $200 instead of like $300. So pick yourself up an Orca if you want to learn leverless or learn box style controller.
You know, even the people like, oh, box Kazuya is cheating. I'm like, don't crucify me. But I mean, regular inputs for Kazuya are not that hard. I have execution. I don't know. It's not that hard anyway.
That part's a skill issue. Like, listen, I can hit the electric like 9 times out of 10, right? I just don't have the patience to hit buttons. That's why I play Game and Watch and K Rule. That's why I play King and Tekken. I don't have to worry about execution like that. All right, your question number 4.
I don't know if you cosplay or have cosplayed, but who would be your dream? Like, you could get a perfectly made dream cosplay character. Who would it be?
Ooh. Yeah, no. I think I'm good. That's probably my thing. My what's it called? Noise gate. I think I do think about this fairly often. And I have a couple of ideas. Probably my top 3. I'm going to cheat and do a top 3 because I think this is a really fun mix.
Okay.
Jerry Only from the Misfits. But I'm not talking about like his WWC area. I'm talking about like when he's wearing like his full garb. Like, I think that's a hilarious outfit to try to do. Especially in when you see any of the music videos from the Graves era Misfits, those costumes, that's great. So I think that the Jerry Only. Another one would probably be casual. Well, I guess it's not really casual, but like non-wrestling attire. El Santo. Like, have you ever seen those images of the masked luchadores like just hanging out, but like they're in like 70s turtlenecks?
No, I haven't. That's
so like that, but like with an authentic El Santo mask. that'd be hilarious. Or even just to make it funnier, just a Rey Mysterio mask, just because like it's technically like outside of that era, because it would be a Rey Mysterio inspired or El Santo inspired Rey Mysterio mask in 70s garb. So it's like it's technically a crossover cosplay. So that would be my 2, but probably my last number 1 would be the mayor from Nightmare Before Christmas that has like a spinnable head.
Oh, that would be really fun. Yeah.
I think if of the 3, I would probably choose the mayor above all. Okay. Of the mayor, the mayor above all, I think. All right. Question number 4. I like asking this question to all of my queer guests. What is something that is supposed to be queer? Ostensibly, it is, but let's be real. That's for the streets. And the example it's queer. Like in concept it is, but it's really for the streets. Like the one that I give, the example is of like Ellen DeGeneres. It's like, yes, she's a lesbian woman, but let's be real.
I'm not gonna I won't say that she didn't have like an impact on comedy, because she did, and some of what she did was groundbreaking before she ended up in Nightmare. Yeah. But like there was also Margaret Cho. There's also Wanda Sykes. There's also, Sydney Watt. There's so many other lesbian comedians that like didn't. There's Paris Sachet, if we're being current right now. But like, Ellen. I think Ellen was palatable in a way that was important to normalize someone being queer in a public way and not being like a salacious thing or like the whole of their story. Yeah, that's something that always really annoys me. Is like queer representation is important, but. And trust me, it really had to get better over even just my own lifespan. Yeah. Of like how we've been represented and depicted in media. But she's just so like safe and like milquetoast and like fun that people are like, well, I know one good lesbian, which is reductive and kind of whack, but it was still important to at least, allow, suburban or southern families to like see queer people and not immediately get frightened or challenged in any way. Yeah. But I definitely think that we're far enough into the future where we can actually authentically be ourselves, and it can be part of our story, but it's also not the only defining trait.
It's not the story.
It's not the story. And it also doesn't have to be a story that ends in tragedy, which is another thing.
Yeah, the bury your gays trope.
Oh, I've talked about it ad nauseum. But yeah, I would say something that's like supposed to be for the gays and just like really is just for straight people. I'm gonna double down and say Benson Boone, because
Benson Boone. Okay,
he is straight, but he is marketed by his team to straight people as like this seemingly queer person, but he isn't. But like, I think what happened with Benson Boone is like they said, okay. If we put you in some, vaguely femme outfits, you will get the attention of queer people. But queer people that know fashion are like, no, he's just kind of wearing a doily. And we're not rejecting him for being feminine. We're rejecting him because Moonbeam Ice Cream is a terrible song. And this isn't actually authentic to you. So, but like, you're not gonna tease me, and the conversation of queer baiting is very complicated, but like, in his case, it's just like, I think straight people that don't know what queer people are actually interested in would look at Benson Boone and say, let's get that audience, even though Benson Boone has not like said out loud that he is queer, and maybe he is, and if he is, thank God, like just say it. But like, I think he has a design team that like it's trying to market him to us, and we're all just like, it's funny because there's a bell curve where there's like something in pop that is so shitty and bad that it becomes camp, and we like love it. Yeah, like we'll gravitate to stuff that's like really intentionally horrible just for like the ironic humor of it all, And there's other parts where it's like we genuinely do enjoy this era of this artist. And Benson Boone is kind of not really doing either, where we don't authentically enjoy his music enough.
And you don't unironically either.
Yeah, he's so bad. He's not bad enough that we like ironically like it either. So he just kind of lives in this weird space. So I'll say Benson Boone.
Benson Boone. All right. I like that. I always like hearing what people say. That's always fun. All right. Your question number 5. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it a 10 in time.
I don't think we are. I actually should have got off like probably 30 minutes ago or so, but we'll do 5 for now. And if we do a part 2, we'll do another 5. Does that work?
Sounds good to me. Cool? All right. So okay. The final question, what are you going to have as your final question?
What do you think is the most, because you've been doing this series for a while.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was the most eye-opening thing you learned from talking to like a caster, like a prominent scene person that you like truly could not have understood unless you had that conversation? What's something that kind of where you're like, oh shit, like what, like recontextualize something for you even possibly?
It's hard because for me, I don't try to really like, I just try to let people say the things that they want to say, let the stories speak for themselves for people. But I think it ties into something that I always like want to be as part of this, which is letting the stories of the people who are not, freaking Leo and Hungrybox be told by the people, themselves. Dr. No, great example. She tells the story at the very end of how she chose her name and how she came out and how the community came together. Momo, telling his experience being a Palestinian and having to endure being within the scene while an ongoing genocide is happening.
And with players like Teapot making it worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also on events like Santa Paws that I was boots on the ground for that too.
But like his experience, like trying to be an individual amidst an ongoing genocide, hearing the contextualization of where he started in the scene and how he ended up being the main TO for main stage. And little did we know that was the last year main stage was happening. Jerry of Top Shelf, like it's important for me. And I guess what it contextualizes is the fact, like, some people, this might be their only real outlet to say the things or explain the stories and say the stories and like bring them to the light in a way that's authentic to them in a very raw way. And like someone like Yin, like him going through the Hemi's trauma that he went through, being closeted in an extremely conservative part of the country, and like the abuses he's went through, and like everything that he's done to how that shaped him to be the type of person that he is and why he is the way that he is. And like Cirque, and how he has to speak so much and speak up and speak out so much so that people pay attention to the Mexican scene, because there's only so many times that the people pay attention. Like, let's be real. Usually when most people pay attention to the Mexican scene in Mexico is when Smash Factor happens. Right? Like that's just how it is. It's a hotbed of like amazing talent, not just player talent, but like production talent, caster talent, TOs, all artists, all that stuff. But we only see the tiniest glimpse of it every now and then. So for me, it's more the contextualization of like, I'm glad they're able to let these things be out there and be spoken. And that's, to me, is something that I love that I get to do with stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There it is, man. We're going to cut it here. You know, like I said, I know you had a really hard out. We're literally going up against the fence line. Sai,
yeah.
My problem is, we're 2.5 hours in. Finally, we've hit our sweet spot. Now let's start for real.
Yeah, because when you started talking about Yan, I'm like, no, we can go there. We can start getting into like the crazy lore of my life.
Yeah, again,
but that's fine.
That's another like 4 hours that I'm willing to set aside that we can get into when I have time, when our schedules can link up. Sai, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out, man. It was awesome to talk to you. I'm glad I'm able to hear some of the stories you've heard. You know, well, I love hearing the insight of people, and it's like, this is a humanization of the person that people hear all the time talking about. Man, the anvil out of shield. That's crazy.
Yeah.
The humanizing effects of the person behind the person that has to say that all the time. Again, Sai, thank you very much. Any last shout outs before we call it and we end it here?
Last shout outs I'll say, honestly, just huge shout outs to the Smash community in general. Obviously, the other casters in the scene that I've gotten to grow so close to with, obviously, you know, people like Emma, of course, you know, we go way back, way before either of us started casting, but also there's just so many great people in the Midwest area that I just love. You know, Kevin with the K, you know, Luke / Gamma, Cal. There's so many awesome people that I've gotten close to, even just over the last like couple of years of casting, even as someone that's like a veteran. There's just a lot of really great new talent, one, which is great for the preservation of the scene, but also very, very fun people to hang around with. Like last thing I'll say, I think we had Diamond Dust 2 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And there were so many of us working that event, but also most of us were hanging out like at this big Airbnb. So over the weekend, there were people I knew and I was friends with, but like actually like rooming with them for a weekend and just decompressing from the event with them is so nice. Same thing happened at Rise and Grind. We had like a 20-person like caster Airbnb.
That's crazy.
Hanging out, eating cereal and stuff. Like that's how I met Colt. And he was telling me about how like awesome all the stuff is in Mexico before he became like this giant KOF caster that he is now.
Yep. Hell yeah.
You know, people like Stu, people, oh God, so many shout outs. People like Mochi. There's just so many, you know, people like Skiff, Ajax. There's so many cool people I've gotten to just be friends with outside of our blocks that I've just gotten to have a really good time just hanging out with. And I'm really thankful to all the other casters in the scene because I consider all of us friends. If I have beef, I'm not aware. But I'm really thankful to all of them and the people I get to see at events because it's kind of like a family reunion type thing every time I'm out of town somewhere. So yeah, shout outs to all the casters in the scene. Entertain yourselves.
Hell yeah. All right, man. We're gonna be cutting it right here. So start waving. Wave your goodbyes. Thank you for being here. Goodbye. Listen to Shounen Chumps.
Yes, listen to Shounen Chumps, please.
All right, man. Later.
Peace.
Oh no, I can't be seen. So I'm gonna have to do this for now. Everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging around. Thank you for listening. I'm sad that my camera failed halfway through, but you know what? It's totally okay. Thank you, everyone. Again, thank you, Sai. Don't know when the next one is, but when that happens, we'll be sure to boot up, go live, and you know what? That's pretty awesome. Thank you, everyone. Like, stream, like the stream, I guess. Share this. Catch the VOD. Catch the VOD. And we'll be catching y'all on the next one. We'll be seeing you there. And yeah, I hope it turns out great. Later.